Details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. The Dbacks have made it 3 in a row, but they made us fans really work for it last night. They beat the Braves 2-1. Merrill Kelly was phenomenal, going 7 innings, striking out 8, and only giving up 1 hit in the win. And Justin Martinez came in with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 8th and got out of the jam and then went on for a 4-out save. And here was Martinez on Merrill Kelly and the win.
Unbelievable. Shout out to Merrill. So he was sprinting today all the corners, and shout out to Merrill. He really needs this game win, and now let's go. Now enjoy.
And get ready for some morning baseball. First pitch in Atlanta will be at 9:15 a.m. here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. The Phoenix Suns have a new head basketball coach. Jordan Ott, former Cleveland Cavaliers assistant, will take the reins over this basketball team. Also, Suns owner Matt Ishbia, in an internal memo, suggested that he will become more involved in basketball operations. For much more on both those stories, head to arizonasports.com. And the NBA Finals finally tip off tonight. The Indiana Pacers will look to shock the world and play spoiler, as OKC and the Thunder will look to stay dominant. This report is brought to you by Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Ready Services Plumbing and Air Conditioning. The proof is in the reviews. If you have any AC or plumbing issues and need a second look, they're online at ReadyServices.com. Proud sponsors of the Arizona Sports app.
Good morning. Time to get up and go to work.
The Power Pack Morning Zoo. Are you kidding me?
Fire.
It's the greatest radio show ever.
Good morning and welcome.
Dan Bickley.
Oh, I've read all his books. He's brilliant. I had no idea he was so handsome.
Vince Morata.
Vinny.
Jared Carlin. And Sammy Sabolka. I believe it means little onion.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Morata mornings.
Shout out to Dan Bickley, my boy, him and Vince. Okay.
Time to go to work. Time to go to work.
Good morning. Happy Thursday, Valley sports fans. Wake up, everybody. We got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to do it. We are out of here at 8:30 a.m. today for the Diamondbacks. Before we get started, though, Vinny, let me tell you about my morning.
Ooh.
Trying to prep in peace and quiet in one of the edit bays, and all of a sudden, I hear this commotion. And right next to me, Jared Carlin is singing. He is spending his morning prep time
Not in the same edit
doing
bay.
an Alanis Morissette song, which will be coming down the pike at some point. Did you ask for that?
Okay.
No. Did it come up in the show meeting?
No.
All right. Several things now I will point out. First of all, these are a hell of a edit bays, right? That you could hear the next person over, these soundproof things.
How about it?
Well, there's nothing that can soundproof your voice, Jared.
Whoops. Secondly, I want to make sure that the song gets approval before we definitely play it on the air. So I didn't want to, mention it before
okay.
I was sure that we were going
Is
to
it
play
a little racy?
No. Yes. Lots of swearing and sexual innuendo, if you've ever heard the song. No. But thank you for the plug.
Well, now that I know it's Alanis Morissette, and I know of probably the subject matter, I can guess what song it is.
Go hit it.
Because of the use of the word "ot."
Yeah, I think you've just kind of reverse engineered this whole thing.
Yeah. Can't wait. Can I tell you? Can I tell you a little bit about my I already did off the air.
Let's pull back another curtain.
So, we have in our studios, we have on-air bathrooms. One for men's room, one women's room. For people who are currently on the air, so they don't have to run all the way out into the lobby and use the lobby bathroom.
Yeah, right.
I don't use the on-air bathroom very much.
Mm-hmm.
But I came in this morning, and first thing I wanted to do was wash my hands. And I see, as I'm grabbing a towel, I see a sign on the towel dispenser.
Right.
And I will just read it. I took a picture.
This is the best.
Please do not leave urine in the trash can. Place it in the toilet and flush.
Okay.
I saw
so
that
many
too.
questions.
I
so
was
many
like,
questions. What is that all about?
I don't know. I know. I've worked here for a long time. It's going on 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are animals among us.
Yes.
That becomes obvious every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of an animal would necessitate a sign like that being posted in a public place?
But the idea of don't put it in the garbage. Are people urinating in a bottle while they're on air like Amazon drivers?
I see. So you're interpreting
I
that.
don't know.
So you're not interpreting that they're not peeing directly into the garbage can. That because of the wording.
The word place.
This is interesting.
Your possibility is even more twisted.
But I don't understand that at all.
To include some sort of receptacle in this process. Now, the sign in the men's on-air bathroom used to say only flush toilet paper
right
down the toilet, nothing else, and that was open for so many jokes.
I know,
like,
yes.
Wait, what am I supposed to do with what I just produced?
Yes. and my reaction to that, for it to for them to put a sign out there. It feels like that had happened more than once.
Yeah.
Right? For it to.
I don't know about that because I told Jared this off the air too. If I was in charge of cleaning that bathroom, it would only take one time.
I guess that's fair. But see, that's the other thing though. If it was just a bottle of urine, you're just knocked over my bottle.
Jesus.
If you're just
Is that caught on camera?
Yeah.
Good.
What's in that bottle, Jared?
If you're just dumping a garbage can, what do you care what's in it? That's why I would think it would have to be like actual peeing into it because it would have odor. It would make everything else wet.
It's a disturbing development.
That is just. It really, really is.
And I feel horrible for whoever's in charge of cleaning that bathroom.
Right. That is okay. That is just absolutely wild. All right, we do have a lot to get to today. Let's get the fun started. Start the show, Jared.
The Splash. The stories making waves in the sports world. The Splash.
Get him out coming.
The Splash, brought to you by Presidential Pools, Arizona's #1 pool builder. See why at presidentialpools.com.
The Phoenix Suns made their new head coaching hire. Jordan Ott, an assistant on Kenny Atkinson's staff with the Cleveland Cavaliers, is their choice. They announced it, although not yet. Hasn't been officially announced via press release, but it's out there. 51 days since the firing of first-year head coach Mike Budenholzer. That happened on April 14th. Ott has been in the NBA since 2013 when he started a 3-year run as a video coordinator on Mike Budenholzer's staff with the Atlanta Hawks. From 2016 to 2022, he moved on to be an assistant coach in Brooklyn, working under Atkinson and then Steve Nash. Then on to L.A. for 2 seasons with the Lakers under Darvin Ham. Finally, this last season with the Cavs. 4-year deal is the report from John Gambadoro. Ott, 40 years old. So there's, look, this happened right at the end of our show yesterday. There was a lot of palpable anger in the air among Suns fans.
Yes.
We'll get into all the emotions and reactions to it.
Yes.
To me, the bigger development yesterday, our very own Kellen Olson reported on the distribution of an interoffice memo from owner Matt Ishbia to his basketball operations department that says basically the Suns will do things very differently from other NBA teams and that he himself will be extremely active in the decisions and management of the organization on and off the floor.
Wow. That is what put people over the top yesterday.
Yes.
The idea that you weren't involved before and you're going to be more involved now?
And kind of an about face from what he said in April?
Yeah.
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 NBA Finals are finally here. Game 1 tonight at Paycom Center in Oklahoma City as the Thunder host the Indiana Pacers. Oklahoma City won the 2 regular season meetings between the teams, winning by 6 in Indianapolis the day after Christmas, and then cruising to a 21-point win on its home floor in late March. Both teams 12-4 to this point of the postseason. Tip-off tonight, 5:30. You can catch it on ABC. Dbacks winning streak hits 3 in a row. They hang on to beat the Atlanta Braves 2-1 on Wednesday. Merrill Kelly, masterful, allowing just 1 hit in 7 scoreless innings. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. had an RBI single in the 3rd. Ketel Marte added a huge RBI knock in the 9th to score Tim Tawa. Justin Martinez labored through a rough 9th inning in which he walked 3 and hit a batter, but he struck out Michael Harris II to end the game. That 3-game series wraps with the D-backs going for a sweep this morning at Truist Park. Brandon Pfaadt on the mound trying to bounce back from his nightmarish start last week against Washington. He'll be faced by Braves right-hander Grant Holmes. First pitch, 9:15 here in the Valley. Pregame coverage starts on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app at 8:30. Got to give a shout-out to the Colorado Rockies. They're still off to a historically bad start, but they just finished off a 3-game sweep of the Miami Marlins. 3-2 win in South Florida.
Wow.
First Rockies sweep since May of last year when they swept back-to-back series against the Rangers and Padres.
And they're feeling so cheeky that their social media department put out a tweet trolling Scotty Scheffler. Win since June 2nd. Rockies 3, Scheffler 0.
I got a kick out of that, too. Cardinals wrapping up their 2nd week of organized team activities today at their training complex in Tempe. We can now also say that Dennis Gardeck,
the barbarian,
he is an official former Arizona Cardinal. Popular edge rusher and special team standout, moving on, signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Gardeck spent 7 seasons with the Cardinals after making the team as an undrafted rookie from Sioux Falls in 2018. Played 96 games as a Cardinal, starting 17, 156 tackles, 17 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 4 fumble recoveries. He'll be missed. He was a popular player.
Yeah, he was one of those hair on fire, overachieving kind of dudes.
Yeah.
Fan favorite. Yep.
Very easy guy to root for.
Yep.
Stanley Cup Final Game 1 in the books belongs to the Edmonton Oilers. They beat Florida 4-3 in overtime. Leon Draisaitl scored the power play game winner 19-29 into the first overtime to give the Oilers the Game 1 win. Game 2 of that series is Friday night at Rogers Place in Edmonton. Mercury at home tonight. They face the Golden State Valkyries at PHX Arena. That WNBA contest gets underway at 7. You can catch it on Arizona's Family Sports and Prime Video. Mercury still shorthanded. They'll be without Alyssa Thomas, Kalia Copper, and Natasha Mack in tonight's game. Texas beat Texas Tech 2-1 in Game 1 of the best-of-3 Women's College World Series final. Game 2 of that championship series is tonight. And at the French Open, Novak Djokovic beat Alexander Zverev in 4 sets on Wednesday. He's headed to the men's semifinals.
Wow.
Along with top seed Yannick Sinner, who cruised in a straight set win over Alexander Bublik. Women's semifinals today. First, it's Arina Sabalenka taking on Iga Swiatek. Then, second-seeded American Coco Gauff facing the Cinderella story, France's own Louise Boisson, who is ranked 361st in the world for now. She's gonna move up to at least 65 in the world.
Who did Sinner beat?
Shut up, Jared. The guy with the greatest name in tennis.
Pretty good. I never heard that guy before.
There you go. There is your splash for this Thursday, June 5th. Coming up, the Suns continue to turn planet orange, green and white, and it's leaving many fans blue. We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Phoenix Suns hire Cleveland Cavaliers assistant Jordan Ott as their next head coach.
Let me clear this up. Is there familiarity in the Michigan State thing, and people are going to just really go up on this Michigan State thing, and I totally understand it, and there's bias in the NBA, there's bias in all sports. Matt Ishbia did not know Jordan Ott. He had never met him before. He had never spoke with him before. He didn't have his phone number. First time he met him was yesterday in Michigan.
More reaction to the Phoenix Suns' new head coach on the way from Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and sports fans know you gotta go big, as in big screen televisions, because these sporting events we love so much, you can't watch them on laptops or phones or tablets. You need a big screen television, and Waltz can take your fandom to the very next level. Do you know Waltz now offers same-day delivery, 7 days a week? That's right, you need it fast. Waltz has you covered with in-store pickup, warehouse pickup, and same-day delivery. You get what you want when you want it at Waltz. When you shop at Waltz, great selection, all the major name brands you're looking for, big screen televisions all the way up to 115 inches. And guess what? The pricing as competitive as you're going to get at the big box stores. In fact, if you think you found a great price, bring it to Waltz. Watch them beat it. They'll give you unbeatable prices on the products you really want. You'll also get the best in-store and in-home experience every time. Go check out their great selection, speak with their knowledgeable staff, and enjoy a worry-free installation done by a professional. Do it right. Shop at Waltz. You can find them off the I-10 in Warner, right behind IKEA. You can find them online at waltz.com. Shop local. Shop Waltz.
Celebrate the baseball season with Kilt Lifter from Four Peaks Brewing, the official beer partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Text SEATS to 620-620 for a shot at 4 tickets to the June 14th Dbacks game against San Diego. Courtesy of Four Peaks Brewing. Message and data rates may apply.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. Classes start June 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hey, it's Wolf for Tim Hovick's Santan Ford in Gilbert. I have 2 things for you, Basinonians. 1, employee pricing has been extended at Santan Ford. And 2, the selection is huge. That's right. Santan Ford has 1,400 new vehicles on the ground. All the models, all the trim levels, different options in every color under the sun. It's simple. Get employee pricing on your new Ford and drive away in the Ford you really want. You gotta love it, right? Head on over to the Santan 202 Freeway at Val Vista Drive in Gilbert. I am Santan Ford.
Join the party on Saturday, June 7th at 7:30 p.m. as Phoenix Rising takes on Orange County in a night full of color, community, and top-tier professional soccer. Be one of the first fans through the gates and grab a free Phoenix Rising beach towel. Perfect for the summer and perfect for showing your pride. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com. That's phxrisingfc.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
What we just tried and did over the last 2.5 years has not been as successful as we hoped.
Arizona sports. Suns. A new horizon.
We got to do stuff different and change to be better.
Shaping the Suns' future this offseason with Bickley and Murata.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about Jordan, one of the things that he has done well throughout the course of his career, guys, is he's been known for player development. He's been able to get his hands on a lot of these young players, whether it was in Brooklyn, whether it was in Los Angeles, or here in Cleveland, and kind of oversee the development of those guys and help them take the next step in their career. He's very detail-oriented. He's got modern philosophies. He's really, really smart. He can see things that pick up on these little things that will help a player take the next step.
That's Chris Fader, who was on with Wolf and Luke. He covers the Cavs for Cleveland.com last week, talking about the credentials in terms of being an NBA coach for Jordan Ott. Now he is an NBA head coach. The Suns making their decision yesterday, right at the tail end of our show. Breaking news from Shams Charania that he's the guy that got through the gauntlet of 4 rounds of interviews, and he'll be the next head coach, the 4th head coach for the Suns in 4 years.
Yeah. Okay, so let's baseline this right to the start. I don't have much issue with the selection of Jordan Ott as a head coach. He has got credentials. He has worked for NBA teams. He's got a good reputation in the league. At the same time, I always laugh when unknown assistant coaches get hired to big jobs and you hear these phrases. I've read that he's got a cutting-edge mind. A cutting-edge mind, Vinny. It's very easy for people around successful teams to rave about assistant coaches who help put together the whole tapestry. Doesn't mean when that person now sits in the big chair and has to make all the big decisions that any of it really translates. So I'm just like Brian Gregory, Jordan Ott deserves a fair chance. He's got a resume. He if he didn't have Michigan State ties, there wouldn't be as much. I don't think there'd be any complaining at all. I do want to know. Like I said yesterday repeatedly, I know Johnny Bryant's a superior candidate. I would like the Suns to explain why Jordan Ott was more appealing to them than Johnny Bryant. I'd like to hear the answer to that. We also have to consider who knows what's happening with Johnny Bryant. Johnny Bryant might have tucked and run out of this.
He might have. Look, before the Suns hired, I think it was Vogel. Yeah, before they hired Vogel, remember Doc Rivers was one of the finalists?
Yeah.
Doc tapped out.
He
said, I no longer want to be considered for this job.
Yep.
We don't have any indication that has happened, but I know there's got to be speculation on this whole operation right now. I think you hit on a very important point here. The Michigan State appearance on the resume of Jordan Ott is giving a lot of people who probably don't know a lot about the situation or the individual, and there's not a lot to know really, but giving them the opportunity to run with, he's an unqualified candidate. It's just another MSU guy getting a job.
Right.
He's just handing out jobs to his buddies.
Yeah, that's not true.
Again, lazy thinking. The Sun. Why I like this hire is because it represents something different. They've recognized going for the splashy hire for the established head coach didn't work. They're trying something different. That's fine. I do think that Jordan Ott is going to have to work incredibly hard just to overcome that first mark on his resume.
There's no doubt about it. This is a hard enough job as it is. Assuming this basketball team and trying to meet the owner's expectations is going to be hard enough. Because there's a disconnect here between how the team has produced and what Matt Ishbia thinks it should be producing. There hasn't been this recognition that, okay, we screwed this up from a roster standpoint. It continues to come from the owner's mouth that there's something internal that his staff or his coaches are letting him down and not bringing the best out of this basketball team. So that is a heavy enough job in and of itself. Now doing it with this idea that, and it's not my idea, it's not your idea. Anybody who pays attention to basketball knows that Jordan Ott didn't get this job because he was in the video room at Michigan State. But perceptions matter. And at a time when Matt Ishbia's image and his perception in the Valley is really, really diminishing, this is going to be a tough thing to get up and over.
I totally agree with that. Totally agree with it. And we talked to Rick Bucher yesterday, and you hit on something again earlier in this conversation, Bick, that is interesting. You can talk about first-time head coaches, and Jordan Ott is one. And people will point out those things. Oh, he sees little things. On the soundbite from Chris Fader, he sees these little things and can really hone in on advantages. That's all well and good. But what Rick Bucher told us yesterday when he really put it together and said all of the angles that people come at head coaches and all the responsibility you have as a head coach, dealing with the media, dealing with every aspect of the team, from the personnel or from the public relations department to media relations to assistant coaches to the front office, the crush on a head coach is different. So just because you were a great assistant coach or a respected assistant coach, this is a completely different job.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see what he can do. Now, do I think we're going to find out what type of coach Jordan Ott is right off the bat? No, because I think this roster is going to be lacking in a lot of areas.
So
I don't expect this to be a very successful team. next year.
Right. And so I think if Matt Ishbia wants to make it easier on Jordan Ott, he needs to pump the brakes on artificially hyping up how good he thinks this team can be. And this idea that I'm going to get more involved, I am going to get results that match my ambition. That's Kellen Olson's line. Very good one, by the way. And because of that, we are going to succeed. That's not fair to Jordan Ott. And not to mention what it does in terms of putting a target on the team's back, and we'll get into that element of it later.
And to go back to the Michigan State thing, we have not heard from Matt Ishbia since the Brian Gregory hire.
No.
When he finally talks and addresses the Gregory hire and the Ott hire, do you think he will acknowledge the Michigan State stuff, or he'll completely brush it under the rug and say it was just a coincidence?
No, I think he'll embrace it. I mean, but I also think that this is bothering Suns fans. It's great that Matt Ishbia really appreciates the grimy, gritty nature of the Michigan State basketball program, but we have our own culture here in Phoenix, and we don't necessarily want Michigan culture imported here. I've heard this from many fans, and they find that offensive. Like, Where's this whole custodian steward of our history? Where's that guy? This is like, okay, what you got here, this isn't the way you do it. And that's bothering people. Well, and again, and I know that Matt Ishbia, when he speaks, he tends to make things worse for himself rather than better. It's the way he's built. He's very fast talking, he's very confident, and he's always making it seem like, I got this. You're going to be so proud of this team. We're going to win championships, plural. Leaning into the plural. It's at this point in time, somebody's got to tell him, you need to pump the brakes on that and give Jordan Ott a chance.
Well, we'll have more discussion on the Matt Ishbia part of this whole thing a little bit later on in the show. Join us for another Arizona Sports Half Day Club next Wednesday as the Dbacks take on the Seattle Mariners. Text the word half to 620-620. We'll send you a link to buy lower level tickets for just $9.87. That's half to 620-620. Coming up next, it was a little stressful, or a lot stressful, but the D-backs officially have a winning streak. We'll tell you about it in D-backs Daily next. Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
D-backs at the Braves.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Twice in one game, Martinez strikes out Michael Harris the second, and the Diamondbacks hang on as they win it by a final score of 2-1.
D-backs Braves series finale this morning at 8:30 right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. As I drive around the valley, I see more and more homeowners are choosing and opting for artificial turf. It gives you that great, beautiful green look. They really pop. And my friends at Turf Monsters, they are a leading installer of artificial turf in the valley, which means they can give you that beautiful green lawn without the fuss, without the mess, without the seeding, without the water bills. I think I've told you way back in the day, I tried to grow a natural lawn. It was a disaster. Not a smart thing to do in the state of Arizona. It's hot, darn near impossible. Turf Monsters gives you a great option if you're looking for that beautiful green lawn. And once again, they really, really pop. Turf Monsters can do a lot of things for you. They're a one-stop shop. They can build you the backyard of your dreams, customized fire pits, customized barbecue pits, state-of-the-art customized putting greens. And their putting greens, folks, are absolutely fantastic. And if you're a golfer, what could be better than practicing your short game in the comfort of your own home? Go check out their work at turfmonstersaz.com. While you're there, you can schedule your free estimate online or give them a call. Tell them I sent you. 623-263-7388 for Turf Monsters.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Jody Jackson. Ready for a career change? You've heard me talking a lot about Y-Refi. Well, they're hiring. As a student loan advocate, you will guide their borrowers and co-borrowers through the application process, ensuring that you're helping each one of them in their unique situation. Many student loan advocates make 6 figures and there is no cold calling. Y-Refi also offers great benefits, including 100% company-paid whole family health insurance and matching 401k. If you're interested, go to yrefi.com/careers or email careers@yrefi.com.
There has never been a better time to join Global Credit Union than right now. Dave Burns here, proud member, and at Global Credit Union, they're all about eliminating fees, no-fee checking and savings accounts, or for accidentally going over your account balance. It's easy to join with 10 branches across the valley, and you can always reach a live person 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Explore the benefits of becoming a member at globalcu.org, your world of financial possibilities. Free checking and no monthly maintenance fee. Only apply to core checking accounts. Direct deposit required for early payday. Other fees may apply.
You've always been strong, but in the face of life's toughest moments, you're going to discover an even deeper strength within. These are the moments you go from strong to stronger. Because no matter how scary the diagnosis, we're ready to do whatever it takes. We've been training for this moment, so we can be there right when you need us. We're ready for cancer. Cancer isn't ready for us. Learn more at dignityhealthazcancer.org.
Hey, as homeowners, our closer is America Roofing. Yep, out of the bullpen, save 12% while it lasts with tax and tariff relief courtesy of Arizona's #1 roofing company, America Roofing. You know what? We had a leak in the garage. I'm like, it's all good. And then the monsoon hit, not good. Big leak in a bedroom. I should have gotten the free inspection right away, especially right now when you can save 12%. It's tax and tariff relief at americaroofingco.com.
ROC 186438CR42.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. The Dbacks have made it 3 wins in a row. They beat the Braves last night 2-1, in large part due to Merrill Kelly's phenomenal performance. He went 7 innings, striking out 8, and only giving up 1 hit in the win. And Justin Martinez came in with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 8th. He got out of the jam and then went on to get a 4-out save. And get ready for some morning baseball. First pitch today in Atlanta will be at 9:15 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. The Phoenix Suns have a new head basketball coach. Jordan Ott, former Cleveland Cavaliers assistant, will take the reins of this basketball team. Also, Suns owner Matt Ishbia, in an internal memo, suggested that he will become more involved in basketball operations. For much more on both these stories, head to arizonasports.com. And the NBA Finals tip off tonight. The Indiana Pacers will look to shock the world and play spoiler, but the Oklahoma City Thunder will look to stay dominant. This report is brought to you by Y-Refi. Don't let private student loan debt ruin your life. Go to yrefi.com. That's the letter YREFY.com.
That baby is gone!
Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. Dbacks Daily. Brought to you by America Roofing. Save 10% on any repair or replacement with Arizona's largest roofer. Online at americaroofingco.com.
D-backs looking for a series win in Atlanta against the Braves after taking the opener 8-3 on Tuesday night. Merrill Kelly on the mound for the Snakes against Cy Young winner Chris Sale for Atlanta. D-backs had a couple chances to break through in the first. Ketel Marte led off the game with a walk. With 1 out, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. followed suit. He drew a base on balls, but Sale got settled in. He struck out Gino Suarez and Randall Grichuk to strand 2 Arizona runners. Sale did need 26 pitches to get out of the inning. Kelly, flat out from pitch 1, was on his game. In fact, both pitchers were in command until the 3rd inning. Sale issued another leadoff walk, this time to Geraldo Perdomo. Later in the inning, Perdomo on second. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in the box.
2 down for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Gurriel walked his first time up, goes after the first pitch. That's a line drive base hit into right center field. Perdomo's going to round third and score. And Gurriel with a 2-out RBI single gives the D-backs an early 1-0 lead.
Chris Garagiola on the call. Kelly was cruising. He did not allow a base runner until he walked Marcelo Zuna leading off the 5th, but then quickly retired the next 3 Atlanta hitters. Kelly still had the no-no going with 2 outs in the 6th as he faced Ronald Acuna Jr.
The 1-2. There's a base hit into center field. A bat flip for Acuna as he makes his way down to first. It's the first base hit for Atlanta. And Kelly able to go 5 2/3 hitless innings before the Braves finally pierce one through.
Yeah, the no-hitter gone, shutout still intact. Kelly got Austin Riley to line out to left to end the 6th. He would work through the 7th. He left the game with a 1-0 lead, allowing just 1 hit and 2 base runners all night. Outstanding performance by Merrill Kelly. Ryan Thompson would get the call in the 8th. He immediately gave up back-to-back singles to Alex Verdugo and Sean Murphy. Thompson would then strike out Drake Baldwin. With runners on the corners and 1 out, Torey Lovullo calls on Justin Martinez to get the last 5 outs of the game. Martinez would strike out Michael Harris II and then intentionally walk Acuna to face Dbacks killer Austin Riley.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Oh, how did the Braves not score? Martinez saves the day. And that is going to take us to the 9th inning.
Yeah, that would only get Martinez out of the 8th. Still 1-0. Raisel Iglesias on for Atlanta in the 9th. Tim Tawa delivered a 1-out double to left, took third on a Perdomo ground out. That would bring up Ketel Marte with a big insurance run 90 feet away.
Now he swings, lines a base hit to left. Tawa scores, and the Diamondbacks double the lead. It's 2-0.
Yep, 2-0 at that point. Now it would be up to Martinez to hold it. And he led off by walking Matt Olson, who took second on a wild pitch. After striking out Ozuna, Martinez then offered a free pass to Ozzie Albies. Eli White followed that by hitting a grounder to third, a tailor-made first pitch double play ball that should have ended the game. Marte could not make the clean relay throw to first after having trouble getting it out of his glove. White beat it out to reach on a fielder's choice. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. Martinez then plunked Luke Williams to load the bases, and Drake Baldwin would be the hitter.
The runners are going to be in motion, and that includes the winning run at first. Huge pitch for Martinez. Game on the line. Here it is. And he missed badly outside. I mean, nowhere close.
Splitter, that was just way off the plate there.
Yeah, so that pushes the run across 2-1. Bases still loaded. Harris now the hitter.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Twice in one game, Martinez strikes out Michael Harris II, and the Diamondbacks hang on as they win it by a final score of 2-1.
Yeah, an absolute roller coaster of a 5-out, 37-pitch save for Martinez, but it counts all the same.
Great stuff.
Dbacks win the game. They earn the series win in Atlanta, and here was Martinez afterwards.
Wow, my heart is like like 100 miles per hour right now, and glad for the team. We get that W tonight and trying to get that W tomorrow too.
Yeah, that was White Knuckle City.
It sure was. It really was. And listen, my takeaway from this was Justin Martinez. Obviously, you don't like that traffic in the 9th inning, but this guy has it in him to get out of those jams. He has got a rare ability to make bats miss. To miss bats, and he leaned on that last night, and they got out of there alive. This team, up until this point, that misplay by Ketel Marte, that's the kind of play that normally doomed this team.
Yeah.
That they don't recover from.
Yep.
And they did last night. So here we go. Unbeaten in June. Let's go!
It was Torey Lovullo on that near double play that almost cost the Diamondbacks.
That flawed play. I felt like had we turned that double play, it would have been somewhere in the mid to low 20s, and that's what I was budgeting for. It just didn't get done. I think Marte double clutched on it, and Eli White's a very fast runner, so you got to be crisp and play really good defense all the way through plays, and unfortunately we didn't do it there.
Yeah, the big story of the game was Merrill Kelly was about as good as he's been in years.
Dazzling.
Last night. He was fantastic, and he got kudos from his manager as well.
He just was dotting up the cutter. The four-seam fastball was moving around the zone. The changeup. It was just a really complete outing. Had the pitch count not climbed, I think in the 5th or the 6th, I was thinking about throwing him out there for the 8th, but given his circumstances with the heat and humidity, and he felt fine. He felt absolutely great. I want to stay ahead of it and take him out of the game and turn it over the bullpen. But I felt like he was strong, and he could have gone even further. That's what he showed every one of us.
Yeah, he really gave the Diamondbacks a chance to win that game. But now you got to ask another tough question in the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
He goes 7 strong, shutout innings, 1 hit. Ryan Thompson gets the call in the 8th, and I think the Diamondbacks internally have to be asking themselves the question, how much they can trust Ryan Thompson now in any leverage situation, because he opened the door for that game to be stolen.
Fair question.
And he did rebound after giving up the back-to-back hits in the 8th with the strikeout before he left the game, but he left Martinez in a tough spot too, which kind of set the tone for his entire 1 2/3 innings appearance.
Yeah, I'm struggling, wondering why he can't get in a groove. Because it's not a game-to-game thing. There are games when he looks really, really good. But you're absolutely right. He opened the door last night. That's very, very fair.
Yep. So
I guess Shelby Miller wasn't available.
That's the other thing I was wondering too.
We thought we had the roles down.
Didn't he pitch the day before? I'm not saying like
he
couldn't
did,
have
but
gone out there.
There was a day off. Prior to that, they had the day off on Monday. He did pitch in the opener, and they avoided having to use Martinez in the opener, which was key last night. I guarantee you, Justin Martinez is not available.
He might be out till July.
Yeah.
I mean, that part of it worked out because Shelby Miller will be the closer today if they need it.
If the circumstance pops up. Yeah, so I guess it does work out. But, man, that was a lot more stressful than it needed to be.
Well, but again, getting out of that stressful environment, maybe this is elevation finally for this baseball team.
Maybe.
That's the kind of win that a baseball team can go, okay, the bad things have stopped happening to us.
Win today, you're back to 500.
Yeah, and I mentioned this yesterday. They got Strider at a good time, and Spencer Strider was really hard on himself after that game, saying, look, I got to be better to give our team a chance to win. It's just not happening right now. They beat Chris Sale yesterday. Merrill Kelly outdueled the reigning National League Cy Young winner.
How about it?
I was just gonna say that if Chris Sale struck out 10 Dbacks hitters yesterday, and you still were able to win a 2-1 win, and it took however many pitches from Justin Martinez, and you heard it in his voice after the game. You can kind of hear his youth, but a 2-1 win against the reigning Cy Young winner, you don't care how you get it.
And this comes after Zach Gallen was absolutely dazzling as well.
Yes.
So now it's Brandon Pfaadt's turn. What?
And that 9th inning run was so big that the D-backs got, especially in retrospect. But we talk so much about how they get a run or a few runs early in the game and then do nothing, which is exactly what happened in that game. So they could get that insurance run in the 9th was so big.
See, I'm not going to chalk that the offensive output or the lack thereof to that particular issue. I just think it was a tremendously pitched game on both sides. That was a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel.
Sure was.
And the other thing we didn't mention on Gallen's start yesterday, too, is doing that with Gabby Moreno as his catcher. That was an incredibly good sign moving forward because Jose Herrera had kind of become Zach Gallen's personal catcher, although Moreno had caught him 6 times. You look at the splits and the difference in the numbers with those two catchers. He had not been good with Moreno behind the plate, and that was a very good sign.
I thought that was very interesting that was sort of a talking point before the game yesterday, that Zach Gallen and Gabby Moreno in the past have had a hard time sequencing pitches, and that Gabby went and hit the book, studied a lot more about Zach and what he likes to do, and Zach said he only shook him off a couple of times, and that's good, because that gives you an insight into Zach Gallen as a pitcher, because he's a very intelligent, studious guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I thought that was very interesting as well.
Yeah, going for the series sweep today, 9:15 first pitch. Means we'll be off the air at 8:30 for pregame coverage here on Arizona Sports. Coming up next, we'll get more on the Suns' new head coach, Jordan Ott, the choice to guide the Suns into the future. We'll check in with a man who covered him for Cleveland.com. Ethan Sands will join us next here on Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You've been listening to Dbacks Daily, brought to you by America Roofing. Save 10% on any repair or replacement with Arizona's largest roofer. Online at americaroofingco.com. Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball.
Hey everybody, this is Dan Bickley.
And Vince Murata.
The Arizona heat is dangerous, but you can help save the lives of our most vulnerable neighbors.
Arizona Sports and the UPS Store are teaming up with the Phoenix Rescue Mission to fight thirst and heat-related illness. You can drop off water at a participating UPS Store location or donate today. Just text WATER to 620-620 to learn more.
The Arizona Sports Water Drive benefiting the Phoenix Rescue Mission is presented by the UPS Store.
Southwest Gas supports the lifestyle of Arizonans. Hey, it's Vince Marotta, and whether it is cooking a traditional meal, providing hot water for showers and baths, or creating ambiance for family gatherings, Southwest Gas proudly fuels our homes and our communities with a safe and reliable natural gas service. Natural gas not only supports lifestyle, it supports economic development as well. Many large-scale businesses that have expanded operations into Phoenix are dependent on natural gas to support their business and production. And choosing Southwest Gas means choosing an energy provider committed to trust and excellence. In fact, Southwest Gas Holdings has been recognized on Newsweek's list of the world's most trustworthy companies, ranking in the top 2% among publicly listed companies worldwide. Time has recognized Southwest Gas Holdings as one of America's best mid-sized companies for its commitment to employee satisfaction, revenue growth, and sustainable transparency. Southwest Gas is an energy partner that prioritizes trust, community, reliability, and safety. And you can learn all about these recognitions and about how Southwest Gas is further dedicated to excellence in our community by visiting swgas.com.
Hey, Ron Wolfley from my brothers over at DISC, Desert Institute for Spine Care. As a football player that suffered a lot of damage, Dr. Chris at DISC has helped me in the past, and I give them my highest recommendation if you're battling spine or back issues. DISC treats all patients, from the professional athlete and the weekend sports enthusiast to those just trying to get back to their normal life. DISC is the preferred orthopedic spine surgeon for professional sports teams and athletes because of their least invasive procedures and their reputation for results. People from all over the world come to DISC for their treatment. DISC's catchphrase is "Enjoy life again," or "Get back to living. Wouldn't that be nice?" DISC website is www.sciatica.com or call 602-944-2900 to schedule an appointment today. Go to DISC, Desert Institute for Spine Care.
Do you have great credit, good with your money? Then why are you in a traditional mortgage that was created for people with poor credit? You know, pay all interest first to the bank, pay for 30 years, zero access to your equity, etc. On a Life Changer loan, you pay all principal first, always retain access to your equity, and pay off in just a matter of years, not decades. Maybe it's time your mortgage matched your credit. It's not magic, it's just math. So check us out at lifechangerloan.com. That's lifechangerloan.com.
Arizona Mortgage Broker number MB1002031, NMLS number 1863775. Life Changer Loan Corp is an equal housing lender.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
When summer heat hits Phoenix, staying hydrated is life-saving. But for those without shelter, clean drinking water can be hard to come by. That's why the UPS Store is teaming up with Arizona Sports to become your neighborhood hydration station. This month, help us support Phoenix Rescue Mission by donating or dropping off bottled water for those who need it most. Text WATER to 620-620 to find participating the UPS Store locations near you, or to make a donation. Text WATER to 620-620.
Message and data rates may apply.
Arizona Sports.
Drafting is going to be critical. The free agency is always critical as well.
Suns, a new horizon, shaping the Suns' future this offseason with Bickley and Marotta.
this is going to be 4 head coaches in 4 seasons for the Suns, right? They've had Monty Williams, Frank Vogel, Mike Budenholzer. So now Ott becomes the 4th coach in 4 seasons. He's got to be realistic with himself. He's got to be realistic with the organization, and the organization, more importantly, has got to be realistic with him. They've got to know what they're working with. They got to know what they're handing him and the opportunity that he has or doesn't have to be successful right away. So he's got to go in there and understand that this should be a slow build. This should not be something that you call a microwave instant success, right? Boom, pop it in the microwave and it's going to go. They don't have the tools. They don't have the guys to get that done. This should allow him to slow build, but we'll see how it goes. I would suggest him renting in Phoenix, not buying.
That is Q Myers from Joe and Q on ESPN Radio giving his thoughts on the Jordan Ott hire, which will become official. Suns have not made it official via press release yet, but it was widely reported yesterday that he is the next head coach. And I think a lot of what was said there by Q Myers is absolutely fair. There's got to be a looking in the mirror for the Phoenix Suns. And I think they, and a lot of us did. I'm not just pinning it on them. Mm-hmm. We all thought the Suns had more than what they actually showed that they had last year. Yeah, whether it was from a roster standpoint or from a coaching standpoint, none of it came together. And I think if the roster does change, you might be seeing a little bit. I think you definitely have to see more in terms of patience with a head coach to build continuity with this team.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I don't think that this is going. I don't think anything is going to happen next year that's going to be that's going to require Jordan Ott getting fired at the end of the season, because I do think that if alignment is really the buzzword around the Phoenix Suns, then you got to get what you really have to get in alignment is your expectations, and there's got to be a belief that this is going to take a little bit of work. This is going to take a little bit of time. And so that's where I'm kind of at on this whole thing. And I hope that, as I said when we started the program, for Matt Ishbia to come out and through the force of personality kind of imply that, okay, I'm going to get more involved and I'm going to fix this and I'm going to get everyone performing to my expectations. And when that happens, we're going to start winning lots and lots and lots of basketball games. It sounds good, but you and I know that's not how you win in sports. You win with great players, great systems, great processes. And so that I hope that he doesn't ladle too many expectations on the new head coach, because that's just going to make his job harder.
Yeah, and it was widely reported as well that Devin Booker was involved in this process late, and that he gave his seal of approval to the hiring of Jordan Ott. And again, is it the sexiest hire? No. But it's not like Jordan Ott does not have credentials. He was a finalist for the Charlotte Hornets head coaching job a year ago. Didn't get that. It went to Charles Lee. Ott then moved on to Cleveland. And coming from a team, I find it interesting, too, that toward the end of the season, I had that feeling about the Cavaliers that was, this reminds me kind of the 2022 Suns. A team that's out there. They're really playing hard. They're winning a ton of games. They won 64 games, the exact same number the 2022 Suns won, and they got bounced in the second round of the playoffs. So just kind of a interesting little coincidence there for me. But he's worked under Kenny Atkinson. He got a very nice recommendation, apparently, in this process from Steve Nash, which does hold weight. Now, is Steve Nash considered a great NBA head coach? No. But his word certainly holds a lot of weight in Phoenix, Arizona. So I'm optimistic about this hire. I'm not necessarily optimistic about immediate success in the win-loss record for the Phoenix Suns, but it was time to go in a different direction with this hire, whether it was Jordan Ott or Johnny Bryant. Yeah. That, to me, is the fascinating part now, is what happens with Johnny Bryant. And if he ends up in New York, what led to that decision? Yeah, now, exactly. I'm putting the cart before the horse, but look, there's a lot of people speculating on it.
Oh, yeah, but listen, if Johnny Bryant might have been the preferred candidate, we'll never know, or I think we'll never know. And he might have saw what happened in New York and then ducked out. And if he gets that job, there's probably a good chance of it. If he doesn't get the job, I don't think that Suns fans are going to be tripping about that. I would like for them to explain why Jordan Ott is a better candidate than Johnny Bryant, in their opinion. What skill set does he bring that led you to him over Johnny Bryant, if indeed that is what they decided?
It's also interesting that they say the thing that everyone's pointing out, why is he even a candidate? player development, how he did Evan DeMobley, how he made him a great player.
He put the D in Evan DeMobley.
Yeah.
What was the thing that they pointed out about Brian Gregory also? That was that he was the best at was player development. That's a key thing, and you think that has something to do with? Can we read into that they're going to have a lot of young players on the team in the next few years?
It definitely needs to skew that way. As player development hasn't exactly been a strength of the Phoenix Suns, and I'm not pinning that on the coaching staff or or that whole operation, but it's just the way the roster was constructed.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of young players to work with, and I think part of getting to where they want to go is the continued development of especially Ryan Dunn, who can be a devastating two-way player in this game. I think if it all comes together for him. I mean, they used rookies last year for the first time in how long, Bick?
Yeah.
And those guys aren't going anywhere.
I was listening to Dan Lebitard yesterday, and they were actually talking about the Heat and whether they're going to be interested in Kevin Durant. They were killing the Suns organization for their perceived ineptitude. But what was intriguing to me is their information was in conversations with the Phoenix Suns about Kevin Durant last year, it was all about draft picks. The Suns were looking all for draft picks, which would tell you that maybe there has been a change.
Maybe. I mean, the complication in that is you can't just trade somebody of Kevin Durant.
No.
His contract for draft picks has got to match up.
Right.
But my thinking was when this season ended that the Suns didn't have interest in draft picks. They don't want to rebuild. But it's got to be a blend of the two. You have to get players in return for Kevin Durant that can play and help you now, help depth, help keep you competitive. And the onus falls on the scouting department to find those diamonds in the rough because they're not going to be drafting at the top of the first round. You can find players where the Suns are drafting. Not easy.
Not easy.
And certain organizations are way better at it than others.
Yeah, no, listen, you can go back through the draft annals and you can find guys at 29, at 26 that turned out to be great players. So listen, I'm going to take solace for the moment that Brian Gregory and the coaching staff, they seem to land on the right names. Johnny Bryant, Sean Sweeney, Chris Quinn. Now, how it shook out, we're going to find out. We're going to find out if Jordan Ott can do this. But as Jarrett pointed out, Jordan Ott is getting a lot of flowers for being entrusted with the development of Evan Mobley, who is the Cavaliers' most valuable young asset, very much the way Johnny Bryant was given flowers for his great relationship and the steady ascendance of Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
So, again, he's got credentials, and so I don't think Jordan Ott is necessarily the issue. The issue happens to be the perception that he's another Michigan State guy, and that perception is very real, whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's fair or not. It's very, very real, and it's the internal memo that Matt Ishbia sent out yesterday that we're going to get into.
Oh, we're going to get into it big time. That was, with all due respect to Jordan Ott, to me, for Suns fans, that was the bigger development of what transpired on Wednesday. And we'll get into that next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Cardinals organize team activities, the OTAs. By rule, they are voluntary, non-contact, limited in time and scope.
Really? Really, really?
So players can opt out of them.
I'm good at you.
Later, dudes.
There's none of this.
Take it easy.
And they can't go on forever.
All right, we'll be out here all night. If we get this thing right, let's go.
Hear Arizona sports hosts talk with Cardinals players and coaches live from the OTAs on 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. Coverage of Cardinals OTAs is brought to you by Kilt Lifter from Four Peaks Brewing.
Buyer beware is always great advice, especially when buying a new car, as in beware the high price of mediocrity. You will find it everywhere in the automotive world. You will not find mediocrity at Chapman BMW. Chapman BMW, your premier destination for luxury and performance. They've got 2 great locations, which means you're going to get an extensive selection of new BMW models, certified pre-owned BMWs, high-quality used cars, the best selection you are going to find in the Valley, and as many many of our listeners will attest, Chapman BMW delivers an exceptional car buying experience. And once you become part of the Chapman family, their state-of-the-art service center, staffed by BMW certified technicians, ensures your vehicle will receive expert care. Finally, you also have a friend in the business at Chapman BMW, so go take a test drive, find what you like, then ask for my guy, Shane O'Hanrahan, GM of both locations. Great dude, a personal friend of mine. He's hooked up a number of our listeners already. You can be next. You can always shop online at ChapmanBMW.com. That's Chapman BMW. 2 great locations, 1 great experience.
Looking for the perfect engagement ring? At Shane Company, we know this is an exciting time. It can also be overwhelming. Customers say this a lot. Where do I start? How do I choose? At Shane Company, this is where the magic happens. Since 1929, we've been experts at helping customers find the perfect engagement ring. We invite you into the design process, help you pick out the perfect diamond or colorful gemstone, and choose a style that speaks to you. Come see us in store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Green flag at Michigan International Speedway.
It's madness in Motor City as NASCAR Prime heads to Michigan International Speedway. 200 miles per hour feels even faster than it sounds. These white-knuckle, 3-wide thrills bring us one of the fastest tracks in the Cup Series. So strap in and stream Michigan Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. NASCAR, it's on Prime.
Monsoons, wild winds, roof destruction, driving rain. Is your roof prepared?
Hi, I'm Lori Clark, owner of Right Way Roofing. We offer free estimates and up to 12 months, same as cash. Let's get your roof ready before the storm strikes. Remember, there's only one way, the right way.
The right way roofing, we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Ready! Hi, this is Chris with Ready Services, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. I've been with the company for going on 15 years. What you're going to get is not only get your problems fixed, but you're going to leave with peace of mind knowing that it's done right and done well by a qualified technician. Ready Services won't ever take advantage of any of our customers. Our goal is always to be the most accurate in diagnosing and providing top flight service for any service, air conditioning or plumbing.
ReadyServices.com. Ready.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Wolf for Tim Hovik Santan Ford in Gilbert. I have 2 things for you, Basinonians. 1, employee pricing has been extended at Santan Ford. And 2, the selection is huge. That's right. Santan Ford has 1,400 new vehicles on the ground. All the models, all the trim levels, different options in every color under the sun. It's simple. Get employee pricing on your new Ford and drive away in the Ford you really want. You gotta love it, right? Head on over to the Santan 202 Freeway at Val Vista Drive in Gilbert. I am Santan Ford.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Sobolka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. The Dbacks made it 3 in a row, but they did make it hard on us fans last night. They beat the Braves 2-1. Merrill Kelly was phenomenal, going 7 innings, striking out 8, and only giving up 1 hit in the win. And Justin Martinez came in with 1 out in a jam in the 8th, and he got out of it and went on to get a 5-out save. And here was Martinez on Kelly and the win.
Unbelievable. Shout out to Merrill. So he was painting today all the corners, and shout out to Merrill. He really needed this game win, and now let's go. Now enjoy.
And get ready for some morning baseball. First pitch today in Atlanta will be at 9:15 a.m. here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. The Phoenix Suns have a new head basketball coach. Jordan Ott, former Cleveland Cavalier assistant, will take the reins of this basketball team. Also, Suns owner Matt Ishbia, in an internal memo, suggested that he will become more involved in basketball operations. For much more on both those stories, head to arizonasports.com. This report is brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Join Wolf at Desert Ridge AMC June 10th at 5 p.m. for a showing of Retirement on the Brink. Sign up at retirementonthebrink.com. Show your VIP badge for a complimentary popcorn and drink.
Arizona Sports. Suns, a new horizon shaping the Suns' future this offseason.
We're going to make some changes.
With Bickley and Murata.
What am I supposed to do? And my job is to provide resources so that when my GM, my front office, my coach want something, want a player, like that, I say yes. I don't focus on profitability. I focus on winning. I focus on the community. I focus on the fan experience. And so I focus on those things. I think that's what makes a great owner. I think if you ask the people in Phoenix, they probably think I'm a great owner. The TV, all the games on TV for free, like that's a big profitability hit, but we led with that. I walked the concourse and realized the concession stand prices are crazy, and we lower the prices. Like that's what I think a great owner would do. Investing in the Mercury, $100 million practice facility, like that's kind of what I think a great owner would do. Community. We brought the WNBA All-Star Game, we're bringing the NBA All-Star Game. We put millions of dollars into the community, doing a lot of things. Like I think that's my role. Now, let's be clear, winning is part of my job too.
That is Matt Ishbia back on April 17th. That was the press conference after the Suns fired Mike Budenholzer. And there's been questions since day one, basically, about his level of involvement. And that question that was lobbed to Matt Ishbia that day was simply, what is your job? And that was his answer. He talked about not being involved in basketball operations all that much. Don't watch film, don't do those things. Then yesterday, Kellen Olson gets wind of a interoffice memo sent from Matt Ishbia to his basketball operations staff. And I'll read part of this to you, and you can read more about this on arizonasports.com, both in Kellen's piece and Dan Bickley's column, which both knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. But it begins, let me start with the most important point. The Phoenix Suns will do things very differently than most other NBA franchises. A part of Ishbia's letter reads, I will be extremely active in the decisions and management of this organization on and off the floor. While I won't be reviewing film, designing offenses, or running the draft room, I will be deeply involved in ensuring that basketball operations, like every other area of our organization, is performing at the highest level. I'm aware that this approach is different from most other NBA franchises. I'm not the conventional NBA owner, and I don't want to be. I've tried running the typical NBA owner playbook, hiring the experts, signing the checks, and getting out of the way, and none of us were happy with the outcome. Making the playoffs 2 out of 3 years and only winning one playoff series is not good enough for this franchise and this community. Basically saying, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. But there's a lot of people questioning if that's not been the case the whole time.
Well, listen, and that's the whole thing. And this is where I think there's a real sense of anger around these developments, and that is for Suns fans who are diehard and live this stuff on the daily. The idea that Matt Ishbia is a hire the experts, write the checks, and get out of the way kind of guy doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem accurate, because we all know Kevin Durant was his idea. We know James Jones did not want to give up what they gave up to get Kevin Durant,
or else it would have been done 9 months earlier.
Or it would have been done 9 months earlier. We also know I would highly doubt that James Jones and his championship rings would think trading for a guy with no trade clause is a good idea. So the idea that Matt Ishbia hired experts and got out of the way, that doesn't seem to carry the ring of truth. And that's troubling, because now his solution is to get even more involved.
It also implies, well, I don't need to hire the experts anymore.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, well, yes.
I don't know. I don't know how to take all of it. I do know that little excerpt of that letter that I read was probably the last thing 99% of Suns fans wanted to hear. I don't know if this is a deflection method to take heat off the hire of Jordan Ott. You made the hire, stand by the hire. You made the hire of Brian Gregory, stand by the hire, which you did already. So I don't know if that's the case.
Right.
There's just still going into
There's a
the
defiance.
third full season of the Matt Ishbia ownership regime and different, configurations in the front office. There is still so much mystery publicly about how that operation runs. And that, I think the fans are frustrated with it.
I think there's no doubt about it. Okay, so a couple things about this. We also, as Suns fans, lived through Robert Sarver, a heavily involved owner, and we didn't see the playoffs for a decade. So we've lived this, and we know the dangers of this. So that's one thing. And then some of the language in that email, we know this from the Herm Edwards, Ray Anderson, bringing the pro model to ASU experiment. Yes. When you come into sports and you're a newbie to whatever sport you have now entered, and you act like you have got all the keys to unlock all the doors, and you have got all the answers, and you're different from everybody else, you're going to tick off a lot of people. You're going to make a lot of people roll their eyes, and you're going to make a lot of people angry, and you're going to put a target on your basketball team. Because, as I wrote in a column today, these professional athletes, great teams, good coaches, the ones who have really kind of threaded the needle, they take great pride in climbing the rungs on the ladder and not cutting corners. And the idea that somebody from the outside can come into their industry and dominate it because he's got different ideas, it never ends well.
No, and I truly believe this, and your example of ASU football is the perfect example. ASU tried to reinvent the wheel because they couldn't figure out the first wheel. Mm-hmm. Hey, we can't crack the code on how to win consistently, so let's change the game. It doesn't work that way.
No.
It doesn't work that way.
So the idea that he is going to be extremely involved on and off the court, how does that going to affect winning basketball games?
Yeah, there's still, he used the word ensure that basketball operations is, operating at its peak level, and I'm paraphrasing there, but then there's questions logistically. There's still only 24 hours in a day. And Matt Ishbia also is the day-to-day operations runner of a multi-billion-dollar mortgage company.
And lives in Michigan.
That happens to be across the country.
Uh-huh. Right.
Can you ensure that everything is running smoothly in that particular role?
It also gives...
Because Suns fans don't care about the success of United Wholesale Mortgage, quite honestly.
No, they don't.
Unless their mortgage is held by that company.
Right.
But they care about the well-being of the Phoenix Suns.
To me, it also feels like it highlights the Michigan State stuff even more, because if he's saying I'm going to be more hands-on and his first two moves are hiring two Michigan State people, to me that it feels connected.
Yeah.
I have said this many, many times because you can hear the resentment in Matt Ishbia's voice of the people that he perceives has let him down. And I think Mike Budenholzer is at the very top of that list. So I'm hoping, and I've said this repeatedly, I'm hoping that Matt Ishbia hasn't been as involved as we think he's been, because what he's been doing is he's been listening to a lot of voices around him, whether it's Isaiah Thomas or Rex Chapman or James Jones or Josh Bartelstein. If there's a case to be made for that we are not looking at Matt Ishbia through the proper lens because of that, then that's a symbol for hope. But if it's not, fans are, and I'm in this group, are having a hard time reconciling the idea that he was never involved before. Because clearly he was. The big ticket items are have to have come from him.
Yeah.
And the big ticket items are now part of the issue here.
The big ticket items are what they're trying to get out from underneath right now.
Yes.
Data Remember is coming to Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater October 25th with Yellow Card for the Maximum Fun Tour. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10, but you can win a pair right now by heading to the contest page at arizonasports.com. Coming up, we've referenced many times already this morning the reaction of Suns fans to the hiring of Jordan Ott and the release of this inter-office letter that Matt Ishbia put out yesterday. We want to get your thoughts on it next. Open up the phone lines at 602-260-9870. Your calls next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, Burns and Gambo talk Diamondbacks baseball with Dbacks manager Torey Lavello. Brought to you by Estrella Jalisco. Don't miss Burns and Gambo with the skipper, 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. Listen on the Arizona Sports app and 98.7.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Sweet James, and maybe you wondered about that name. Sweet James, what is that all about? Well, his name is James Bergner. He's a world-class attorney, and he got the sweet nickname from our guy Petros Papadakis from Fox Sports, former USC fullback, who couldn't believe a Bulldog attorney could be so nice outside of a courtroom, and the name just kind of stuck. But know this, Sweet James and his attorneys, anything but sweet, anything but nice to your opposition if you are ever injured in an accident, and that I'm primarily talking about the insurance companies that will not want to pay you a nickel for your injuries. Here's what you'll get from Sweet James. You'll get the medical treatment you need so you can heal. They'll get your car fixed, and then they're going to get you the money and the justice you deserve. They're going to treat you with compassion every step of the way. What sets them apart is their extensive trial experience, which gives them great leverage when dealing with those insurance companies. It's why they not only win 98% of the time, they win big, consistently delivering some of the largest settlements in Arizona. This is the firm you want in your corner if you're ever hurt in an accident. 1-800-9-MILLION, 1-800-900-0000, online at sweetjames.com.
Hey, it's Jody Jackson. Ready for a career change? You've heard me talking a lot about Y-Refi. Well, they're hiring. As a student loan advocate, you will guide their borrowers and co-borrowers through the application process, ensuring that you're helping each one of them in their unique situation. Many student loan advocates make six figures, and there is no cold calling. Y-Refi also offers great benefits, including 100% company-paid whole family health insurance and matching 401k. If you're interested, go to yrefi.com/careers or email careers@yrefi.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
The Hondo Rodeo Fest is back November 7th through 9th at Chase Field in Phoenix. Experience 3 nights of World Championship Rodeo, plus live performances by Cody Johnson, Jason Aldean, Nickelback, John Party, Riley Green, and Treaty Oak Revival. Tickets on sale now through Sunday, June 8th, with an early bird 25% discount. Get yours at thehondoRodeoFest.com. That's thehondoRodeoFest.com.
I've been in the diamond business my whole life. Grew up in my dad's 22-store chain, and since 1990, I've been doing it on my own. Here's the truth. Big-name stores can't match our prices. Why? Because they have massive overhead, fancy showrooms, huge marketing budgets, and layers of corporate costs. Every dollar they spend is a dollar you pay. But at my office, we keep it simple. No unnecessary overhead, just the best diamonds at the best prices. And when it comes to quality, we carry what the mall stores won't and what the luxury stores charge a fortune for. If you want the finest diamonds at the most competitive prices without the retail markup, come see me, Diamond Dave, and my team of experts. Because when you buy from us, you don't just get a diamond, you get confidence, quality, and the deal of a lifetime.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow Dave on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
When the new head coach comes in, the one thing he's going to have is someone who has sat in that seat. Not at this level, but has sat in that seat.
Arizona Sports. Suns on A new horizon shaping the Suns' future this offseason with Bickley and Murata.
Now, Phoenix Suns have found their man. Jordan Ott will be their next head coach. That was reported yesterday widely. 4-year deal for the 40-year-old first-year head coach. And then yesterday, the discovery of an interoffice letter sent by Matt Ishbia saying, hey, I'm going to be more involved in basketball operations on and off the floor. It has garnered a lot of reaction. We want to get some of that reaction now. Let's go out to the phone. 602-260-9870. Your reaction on all things Suns this morning as we start out with Daniel in Phoenix here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. What's going on, Daniel?
How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing
Daniel.
good. My reaction was, so basically he's going to Al Davis, Jerry Jones us?
Yeah.
Look what the Dallas Cowboys has been going through for years. And Jerry Jones runs that team, and he does the football operations. Is that the same thing he's going to be doing?
It sounds like it.
With Matt Ishbia is going to be more involved.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened. Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. I would take Kevin Durant 10 years ago when he was actually – he's good, but when he was actually winning. I wouldn't have broken up the team for Kevin Durant. I think that was all his mistakes.
You're not alone in that, Daniel. Thank you for the phone call. We appreciate it. Look, the KD trade in real time, I was behind it. You were behind it. Most of the Valley was bedazzled by the idea that Kevin Durant was coming to Phoenix. The results haven't matched what the expectations or the anticipation was.
No.
But I don't have an issue with that trade.
No.
I mean, we'd all like to have gotten the Kevin Durant that was, the younger version, but,
Look, the Suns were at a point where they had a nice team, they had a good team. They didn't think they had an edgy enough team or the fuel to get over the top. They made a controversial trade. I think the majority of people were behind that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a small but very vocal group that's been against that trade since day one. It's kind of puffing their chest out now, and that's fine. I was for that trade too, but that's certainly when the trajectory of the Phoenix Suns changed. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. So listen, and I know in retrospect, a lot of people have said, oh, we were coming off 60 wins and we had the Twins and we had all this stuff. And that's revisionist history.
Yeah.
There were some issues with that team. It was breaking apart. People remember that team more fondly than it really was at the end of it.
True. Let's go out to Seattle, Washington, and talk to Nick, who's up next here on Arizona Sports. Good morning, Nick.
Hey, guys, love the show. I've been thinking, the Suns, they don't have an ownership problem. They have a mirror problem. Ishbia is the only guy who wants to listen to one voice, his own, and maybe someone who shared a dorm room with him at Michigan State. I mean, you've got one of the most talented cores in the league, but no front office consistency, revolving doors of coaches, and now we're stuck in this Spartified echo chamber like he's trying to build a Final Four team, not an NBA contender. Ishbia should listen that this isn't the Big Ten. It's the Western Conference. It's brutal, and I don't see a way out of it with the way he's doing it today.
You're not alone.
Strong thoughts, Nick.
You're not alone. Thank you for calling. Thank you for listening in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the pressure on Jordan Ott, but pressure on Brian Gregory, too, because this is a sizable challenge for any NBA executive. And I'm talking about guys that have been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. Let alone a guy who's got 1 year of NBA experience and mostly as a consultant. I mean, that one might be hard to overcome. 602-260-9870. Let's go to Murph in Tempe, who's up next here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. What's going on, Murph?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, gentlemen. And Jared does put the arse in Jack. Yeah, I was around back. I was around back in the day when Colangelo hired his son Brian to take over the leadership role, and I know a lot of people are giving him a hard time for doing that. And I think that worked out pretty well. So with Ishbia wanting to lead the way, yeah, I know it's probably going to turn into a bit of a frat house a little bit there, blue or green and white, but I'm optimistic, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we get put on the court this year. And I'm definitely looking forward to listening to Vinny on the sideline calling the plays.
Thanks, Murph. Appreciate
Thanks a
that.
It's a fair point bringing up the Brian Colangelo hire, because the people that I was among the people that was critical of Jerry about that. There's a fundamental difference, though, that has to be underscored when you draw that as a comp. Jerry Colangelo was a basketball player like Matt Ishbia was, but he was also a general manager for 2 teams and a coach.
Yeah.
At times.
On 2 different occasions.
Before he was an owner. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't an owner who had a basketball playing background. He had done all those jobs.
Correct.
It's an important distinction to recognize if you're going to talk about that comp.
Well, and to Murph's point, too, about being optimistic about the coach, I could say with confidence right now, and without knowing a ton about Jordan Ott, we'll learn a lot more about him as the weeks and months pass. The Suns are in a better spot head coaching-wise right now than they were at the end of last year. I fully believe that. And you mentioned it before, the level of disappointment back in April in Matt Ishbia's voice. He got let down by Mike Budenholzer.
There's no doubt about it.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Let's squeeze in another call from Queen Creek. This is Max here on Arizona Sports. What's going on, Max?
Hey, thanks for having me. Love the show.
Thanks.
Just, I kind of am echoing what you guys said earlier. Like, if Ishbia is going to take another step in being like an ultra micro manager for the organization, who's been calling the shots in the past? I continue going back to that Chris Paul situation where he called out Isaiah Thomas or mentioned Isaiah Thomas after he got traded. Like, someone besides Ishbia has been calling the shots. And I think of that team, there was a lot of flaws showing at the end. But then I go back and I think of Boston. Like, they've been so close for so long. They had so many rough years. They added Derek White, a role player who made a huge addition. We added Landry Shamet to that team, and it just really that still really bothers me. But I'm just really concerned. We've never seen an overactive owner work, and I love my Suns, and I just don't want this to continue anymore.
Yeah, appreciate it, Max. Let's close out one call. Man, we're all over the place today. Seattle. Now we go to Oklahoma to talk to Brandon up next here on Arizona Sports. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, boys. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Appreciate you taking the call. I just, like I was telling Jared, it's gotten to a point in Arizona where every time we get our hopes up, we expect something different, something new. Benny, I think it was you, whenever the ownership transition was happening, you said, be careful what you wish for because we don't know who we're getting. And he got welcomed in like a conquering hero, ran Sarver out, the big bad guy, and now we're all kind of looking back saying, were we all duped? And then to say things like, well, Steve Nash supports it and Devin Booker supports it, I think that's all just seeing the fallout from the fan base and throwing some names that they think that is going to soften the blow.
Fair points. Appreciate it, Brandon. Look, one thing that I still have not moved on, and the Matt Ishbia experience from a fan standpoint has been a frustrating one. But at the heart of it, I can't get past this. He is ultra competitive, ultra confident, and ultra rich.
Very much so.
Those are 3 things you can't say about every other owner. Again, this has been a learning process, and I didn't expect to see the interoffice memo saying I'm getting more involved in this thing.
Neither did I.
To me, if you look at the culpability and where this all went south, and people will point at the Bradley Beal trade, and it blew up in the Suns' face, and to hear Gambo again yesterday on his show talking about they don't want him, they want nothing to do with him, that possibility remains that Bradley Beal is just going to be sitting on his couch next year making $50 million. But we don't know who was responsible for that. We all have our ideas of who was responsible for that. But what tells me that it was probably a Matt Ishbia concoction, production, nobody's lost their job in the front office.
That's the whole thing. That's another thing that people are having a hard time reconciling is where's the accountability? Who made these poor decisions? Who put us in this leaking boat? There's no clarity on that.
No, there's not. Thanks for the phone calls. Appreciate it. The worldwide phone calls today. Coming up next, Sammy's going to take us through the big stories on this Thursday morning in the Rush Hour Reboot. It's Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Phoenix Suns hire Cleveland Cavaliers assistant Jordan Ott as their next head coach.
Devin Booker was a part of interviewing 5 of the candidates.
And Jordan Ott was the guy that he recommended the most. Steve Nash, former Sun, had Ott in Brooklyn, raved about Jordan Ott. They did their due diligence. They did their homework. They took 6 weeks to do this, and they came away with Jordan Ott.
More reaction to the Phoenix Suns' new head coach on the way from Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
The Life Changer loan is exactly what it says it is. It is a financially life-changing and unique loan program that is the main way consumers borrow money in many places in the world and the only way you should be borrowing money to buy your next home. Now, I'm going to stop right there. That paragraph I just read you sounds like something I might tell you about Life Changer loan, but it's not. It's one of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of glowing reviews from customers and clients who could not believe something this amazing exists. Let me tell you about Life Changer loan, an innovative program that combines your banking with your mortgage. You do your banking inside your mortgage. It allows you to pay all principal first, which allows you to pay off your house in a matter of years, not decades. In fact, 5 years, the average length of time it takes a Life Changer loan client to pay off that home. 24/7 access to your equity, which gives you the power to pay down, pay off, or borrow back whenever you want, and you're not going to change a dime of your spending habits. If it sounds too good to be true, they hear that all the time at Life Changer loan. Like they say, it's not magic, it's just math, but you do have to be a good fit. There are caveats. You've got to have the right financials, the right credit score. Go find out if you're a good fit. If you are, you're going to love the results. 480-504-0844, online at lifechangerloan.com.
Hey, homeowners, discount agents might save you a little on commission, but if your home doesn't sell or sells for far less, you'll pay a big price. Avoid this mistake and have Carol Royce, your home sold guaranteed realty, show you how to price right and attract serious buyers. Carol will even guarantee to sell your home for 100% of market value, or she'll pay the difference. Don't wait. Call Carol Royce today or visit carolhasthebuyers.com. That's carolhasthebuyers.com. Carol and seller must agree on price and possession.
This next song goes out to Cox Mobile for letting me video call my dog while we're on tour. From San Diego to Boston, I said hi. You started barking. Cox Mobile's got the bars to keep us both howling.
We run on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability. So whether you're at a concert or on the road, you'll stay connected. Visit cox.com/mobile. Cox Internet required. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability per Ookla US 2H 2024. Other restrictions apply.
A blown call at the plate?
Safe.
Frustrating. Spilling your nachos in the stands?
Ah, man.
Disappointing. Finding a scorpion in your home?
Honey, I need a little help in here.
Unnecessary. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control, the official service provider of the Arizona Diamondbacks and Chase Field. While we can't do anything about the nachos, we can definitely take care of the scorpions. Call 602 Blue Sky today and get big league pest protection for your home. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Hey, Gambo here with Stuart Willis, president of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Stuart, how do tariffs impact an investor's strategy?
Well, tariffs can affect their investment strategies, but that's once they're implemented. Right now, what we're dealing with is the fear of possible tariffs and the volatility that's following.
So how do you help clients navigate that if they've got that fear?
Well, number one, they just need to stay the course and make sure that they're properly diversified, and most importantly, that they're invested at the right risk level for them.
Are there specific strategies that you use?
Well, absolutely. And a lot of it is hand-holding, making sure that they don't panic. Everyone knows you're supposed to buy low and sell high. Oftentimes, people do just the opposite.
So staying informed and adaptable would be the key.
100%.
Is your portfolio diversification in line with your personal risk tolerance? Go to assetpreservationwealth.com for a free portfolio review or call 602-877-PLAN.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor.
You know our summer escape now is our own backyard. That is not taking a week vacay. That's every day. And that's what happens when you do what we did at Casa Galvisi and call California Pools and Landscape. Whether it's a backyard refresh or a complete reset like we did, stay cool in your own swimming pool. And right now, get a free Baja shelf with your new pool. Yep. Don't miss the summer sales event at California Pools and Landscape, where you get a free Baja shelf with a new pool. Click calpool.com/Paul.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. The Dbacks have made it 3 in a row, but they made us fans really work for it. Last night, they beat the Braves 2-1. Merrill Kelly was phenomenal, going 7 innings, striking out 8, and only giving up 1 hit. And Justin Martinez came in with 1 out and a jam in the 8th, and he got out of it on his way to a 5-out save. And get ready for some morning baseball. The first pitch today in Atlanta will be at 9:15 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports, 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. And the Phoenix Suns have a new head basketball coach. Jordan Ott, former Cleveland Cavaliers assistant, will take the reins of this basketball team. For much more on that story, head to arizonasports.com. And the NBA Finals finally tip off tonight. The Indiana Pacers will look to shock the world and play spoiler to the Thunder, but OKC will look to stay dominant. This report is brought to you by YRefi. Don't let private student loan debt ruin your life. Go to YRefi.com. That's the letter YREFY.com.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Mulatto mornings. Rush Hour Reboot. Rush Hour Reboot. Getting you up to speed on everything happening in sports this morning. Brought to you by Brooklyn Bedding. For the best sleep ever, get the best mattress ever at Brooklyn Bedding.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. It is 7:33. This is the Rush Hour Reboot. And quick reminder, the Diamondbacks' first pitch will be at 9:15, so our show will be cut a little short, but we have time for the Rush Hour Reboot, and we start with the Diamondbacks. They made everyone that was watching last night sweat, but a win was a win, and this is what Torey Lovello had to say after it.
Probably running a little hot, but as everybody's was in the entire Valley, and everybody in the dugout and every player on the field. That's how it should be, because we're invested and we care. And we want to win baseball games. We felt like we played a really good game. Merrill executed at a very high level.
So it seems for the month of June, at least, that this team has found a newfound energy, and maybe that's just the cycle of 162 games. But have you been impressed with how this team has responded after a miserable homestand and an injury to their ace?
Yeah, I have been. I've sensed, maybe I'm looking for this and this is why I'm seeing it, but I sense a little more desperation in the team. I think they've kind of had that moment where it's like, holy bleep, it's getting late and we are messing this thing up.
Yeah, it's hard not to be impressed, because last Saturday night was about as low as it gets.
No doubt.
When Brandon Pfaadt walked off that mound and they're down 10-0 to the Washington Nationals, and the Boo Birds were out, and they got serenaded by a chorus of sarcastic applause when they finally made it out. That was the low point of the season. So to come back, to win on Sunday, and to beat 2 really good pitchers in Atlanta in convincing fashion, I think is very impressive.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that is one thing I don't think I've experienced that much at that baseball stadium. The Bronx cheers, the derisive, the sarcastic cheering when you finally get it out, right? Because it was 9-0 at that point in time.
Yeah.
And that's not what Chase Field normally does, and maybe that shook this team.
Yeah, and first pitch 9:15 this morning. Do they have some desperation this morning? Do they get a win today? Brandon Pfaadt response game?
I haven't seen the lineup yet.
I haven't either. That's so fair.
And it is out.
We could put a pin in it.
Listen, you know how baseball works. If you go in and you take the first 2 games on the road, you generally get a real angry response from the home team, because now they're about to be embarrassed. And so in a lot of cases, I would go with the home team in this certain case, but this is a great chance for the Diamondbacks to get greedy.
Yeah.
Yep. So yesterday, the Suns named their head coach after a quite lengthy process. The man is Jordan Ott, and there have been several reports saying that Devin Booker gave his, quote, stamp of approval on it, and here was Shams Charania on that yesterday.
The most interesting part, though, is really over the last 7 to 10 days, Devin Booker, the Suns franchise cornerstone, was involved late in this process for the hire, and I'm told Jordan Ott was his top choice as well.
So if indeed Ott was Book's guy, how important, not only to Book, but the Suns, was it that they got Book's #1 choice?
I'm not going to accept that as fact, Sammy.
I have a hard time believing that, too.
I will accept that he gave it his stamp of approval.
Yes.
But saying that this was his preferred choice, I'm going to have to hear Devin Booker say that.
Yeah, and I think it was Gambo who said that Booker was in on 5 of the interviews when it got down to the final 5 candidates. I'm in the same boat as you guys on it. I want to hear it from Devin Booker. I also want to hear some history on that subject. How involved was Devin Booker in the Mike Budenholzer hire? How involved was he in the Frank Vogel hire? He's been the cornerstone of this franchise for quite some time. So
he's had 9 head coaches. Maybe stop asking him.
This is the
8th, I think.
The 8th, yeah, and 7th non-interim head coach. Which is just amazing, going into his 11th year.
Yeah. So now the GM is in place, Brian Gregory. You now have the head coach in place. Now the focus, you'd think, turns to what the Suns are going to do with Kevin Durant. And my only question, it's a simple question. I'll ask this now. Do you think you personally will be pleased with the Kevin Durant trade when it comes?
Ooh. I mean, overall, I can say, without knowing what comes back, I can say yes, because I think it is time for the organization to move on from Kevin Durant and to cash in whatever's left in terms of value of return. But I'm not expecting to be blown away by what they get in return.
Yep.
That's fair.
Listen, I think I'm going to say the answer for me is yes, because for whatever reason, the pairing of Kevin Durant with Devin Booker led to a lesser Devin Booker. Whether it's related or not, it is a fact. And I think the time has come where Devin Booker has to be the guy.
Yep.
And as Wolf said yesterday, he has got to take the leadership reins. It's year 11. Even if it doesn't come natural to you, this is your responsibility now, especially if you're going to get this. If you're going to be a $75 million a year player, if you're going to get this huge raise when your play has actually slipped the last couple of years, you've got to be the centerpiece now.
Yeah. So the NBA Finals get underway tonight after a brief hiatus. It's game 1, kind of a feel-out game, some teams would say, and the Pacers and Thunder haven't played each other since late March, so it will be a feel-out game, and those teams were wildly different. So, series predictions. Who you got in what, MVP, what to look for?
Oklahoma State in Oklahoma City, sorry.
Big Cowpokes fan, are you?
Oaks. Oklahoma City in 5 games. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's the MVP.
I wish I could say something different, but I can't.
I don't think this is a good matchup for the Pacers. I respect Rick Carlisle. I think he's going to try his best to scheme his way into trying to find some cracks in that program, but they have just got so many predatorial defenders, wings, physical wings. They are a machine.
Yeah, I think they're going to make life very difficult on Tyrese Halliburton. He's been one of the stories of the playoffs so far, and it's been a great story and wildly entertaining to watch. But, yeah, the matchups and the defense that they could throw at you is just... It's tough. I hope I'm wrong on the prediction.
Do you think
it's a much better series than that.
Do you think the 5-game plays out 3-0 and then Indiana wins that, token game?
No. I think Oklahoma City wins the first 2 games. Indiana wins game 3. Oklahoma City wins game 4 on the road, comes back, closes it out at home.
The gentleman's sweep.
Yeah.
So at least after game 3, we'll think we might have a series there.
See, I have OKC in 4. I think it's a sweep.
Wow.
And I think tonight's the closest game in that once OKC figures out what Indiana might look like, it's going to be double digits from there on out. I think they're just a buzzsaw. They're the best team in the NBA. They have been all year, and Shai's going to be fantastic when MVP. So I have him in 4. I know that a lot of people have him in 5 or 6, but
sweep would not be good.
No. But
especially for the small market critics.
That's how good the Thunder are in my eyes. So,
I agree.
Yeah, this is the reboot.
Thanks, Sammy. You can join us for another Arizona Sports Half Day Club next Wednesday. Dbacks Mariners at Chase Field. Just text the word half to 620-620. We'll send you a link to get lower level tickets for just $9.87. That's half to 620-620. Speaking of the D-backs, they're on a bit of a heater. We'll talk to their president and CEO, Derek Hall, for his weekly visit next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Here are the top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com presented by Wi-Refi. I'm Kevin Zimmerman. Matt Ishbia's internal memo puts a target on the Suns, writes Dan Bickley. The Jordan not hiring strengthens some questions on the Suns' decision-making tree. And Merrill Kelly is masterful against the Braves in a series clincher. Those are your top 3 headlines on ArizonaSports.com presented by Wi-Refi.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for QC Kinetics. Not long ago, I visited their beautiful facility in Chandler, and I heard a great success story. So they had a former rugby player come in with crippling back pain. He had no relief from that pain, whether he was sitting, standing, lying down. As soon as he began treatments at QC Kinetics, he started feeling better. After his 3rd treatment, he walked into that office and handed them his walking cane, which he no longer needed. For over 8 years, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free, shoulder and hip pain gone. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They use regenerative cell therapy to restore the damaged joint tissue in your aching joints, and it really literally works like magic. Go ask Emmett Smith, who raves about what QC Kinetics has done for him. This is a all-natural, no drugs, no surgery involved, no downtime approach to your joint pain. Give them a call, get a free consultation, see what they can do for you. You can find them in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. You can get that free consultation by calling 602-837-PAIN, 602-837-PAIN for QC Kinetics.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call Trajan today at 480-990-3300. That's 480-990-3300.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding, as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
You know, I still have my first car, a classic 66 Mustang, and what was is parked right next to what's next, a new Explorer we recently bought from our Desert Ford dealers. Yep, Paul Calvise here. Hey, Ford isn't just part of our family. My grandfather worked for Ford Motor, but it's part of America, our heritage. Yet Ford is also the future. Whether it's family time or four-wheeling time, tailgating or towing, Ford has a powertrain option that fits what you're looking for. Gas, hybrid, electric. You know what else our Desert Ford dealers have? The best-selling line of trucks for 48 years running. That Ford F-Series with the all-new 2025 F-150, designed to be the toughest and most productive ever. And then there's a 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E, 100% electric, 100% SUV with sports car performance. SUV, my daily driver, a Ford Edge. And again, we just bought a new Explorer. Wait till you see the redesigned interior on the all-new 2025 Explorer. Bottom line, get on down to our Desert Ford dealers or click buyfordnow.com.
Hey, it's Mike Broom. Had accidents happen unexpectedly. If it ever happens to you, call the attorneys at Sweet James. Sweet James has an office right here in Phoenix, run by world-class attorneys that are part of your community, and they are proud partners of your Phoenix Suns. Sweet James is all about winning, and they win 98% of the time, because when you're hurt, you are counting on someone to deliver for you. Winning big is everything. That's why you call Sweet James at 800-9-million. That's 800-9-million or sweetjames.com. Awarded best attorneys in America. Proud partner of your Phoenix Suns.
The Arizona heat can be dangerous, and you can help save lives. Text WATER to 620-620 for the UPS Store water drop-off locations, or donate today. It's the Arizona Sports Water Drive, presented by the UPS Store. Message and data rates may apply.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Mr. Speaker, the President. I have the high privilege and distinct honor to present to you the President.
He's the president and CEO of your Arizona Diamondbacks.
Hail to the chief.
Derek Hall.
The President.
On Now with Bickley and Murata.
We talk Diamondbacks baseball with the president and CEO of the ball club, Derek Hall, every Thursday. And Derek joins us right now via the Arizona Sports Line. Derek, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, guys. I'm actually in New York City at MLB offices for the owners meeting, so just stepped out. I'm in a conference room and glad to talk to you guys.
Oh, outstanding. Are you checking out the commissioner? Are you checking out the commissioner's office you're going to be inhabiting? To bring any pictures to leave?
Oh goodness, nope. I'm just one of 30 here. That's all.
All right.
Hey, before we start talking about all this winning and a streak going on and maybe a resurgence, I just want to say once again to you, Derek, thank you for the treatment you gave Jarrett Carlin and his family.
Wow.
Last Sunday.
Wow.
First class, hand delivering 2 sandwiches to that schlub. You are the man, Derek.
Well, it was fun, and I said I was not going to do that if his dad was wearing a Nats cap, and his dad was. So I thought we'd still give him the sandwich and make him wear a Dbacks cap. So we took him a cap and he put it on. I'll give him credit. And throughout the entire process of him, Jarrett, eating, I kept getting text updates from people in the sections saying, he just about ate it all. He ate it all. And so it was fun that they were into it too. So everyone was watching him.
All right, so last night was one of those white knuckle nights from the couch or in the ballpark, depending on where you happen to be. But do you get this feeling that maybe there's a brighter horizon for this baseball team? Do you think a corner's been turned here, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, we all keep saying, at least the three of us keep saying, boy, it looks like cleaner baseball. Yet then again, it's not perfectly clean, right? Like the other night, that 8-3 win was not that clean, and we almost gave it away. And then last night as well, couldn't turn that double play. I saw the Braves owner this morning, and he said, boy, you guys are killing us. Can you take it easy on us? I said, we tried to give it to you, and it was only a 2-1 game. But I do like the way we're pitching. I like the way we're playing a complete game, and it does look more like us. Yeah, Bick.
Yeah, we were talking earlier this morning, Derek, and going back to last Saturday and that scene at Chase Field when Brandon Pfaadt really struggled and was down 9-0, and he hadn't recorded an out. He comes off the mound, and it was a weird feeling because there was a cascade of boos, there was sarcastic cheers when an out was finally recorded, and I think, and we've been talking about this too, is sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you can start to climb back up, and that to me felt like a rock bottom moment. What were you feeling in that moment when that was going on?
Oh, it was devastation for sure, but I really felt sorry for him the most, and I knew that that next morning Vince Marotta was going to once again proclaim that we were hit rock bottom after I think we had heard it 3-4 days in a row before that. But I agree with you, that was definitely rock bottom, and I do think so. You've got to hit rock bottom, hit the skids to get back up on your feet and rebound. And we had talked about before that when you go through something like this, it's much better to do it in May or June than August or September. And you just have to hope that it doesn't hang over and you keep playing like that for an extended period of time. Going to Atlanta, a place that can be tough to play in, and they've had their struggles as well, playing a lot like us. It's never been easy for us to go there and win. Yeah. You guys were talking about it the other day. We've had some huge moments in Atlanta for sure, but it just seems like they've had our number the last couple of years. So to go in there and take the series is a great thing, and to have a good road trip after that horrible, in my opinion, homestand. With 2 teams that we expected to play better against, and to go 2-4. We kept using the word unacceptable, and it was. But as Brandon was struggling there in that first inning, you really felt bad for him because he's been one of our most consistent pitchers, most effective pitchers, and he'll snap out of it and get right back on track too. We're confident.
All right, let's assess the bullpen last night. Justin Martinez just tap dancing his way to that save last night. Vinny brought up Ryan Thompson. Ryan Thompson has been fantastic on and off during his stay with the Diamondbacks. Clearly an essential part of your run to the World Series. What are his issues? What's holding him back at times this year, Derek?
Well, we think we figured it out. We saw something that he was doing that may have been perhaps tipping, and we also wanted him to use his slider more, and we're seeing him be much more effective. The last 3 or 4 outings has looked more like Ryan Thompson that we're used to. And, he struggled mightily there for a while when it seemed like the entire bullpen was. But, he's somebody who, and you guys have spent time with him, he is such a good teammate and such a good human being. Yep. You root for someone like that to be able to turn it around and get back into form, and it looks like he is. We call upon him a lot. He's been used maybe as much as any reliever over the last few years. in our pen. So we rely heavily on him. We need him to be the Ryan Thompson that he can be with swing and miss or putting the ball on the ground. And it feels like he's coming out of it. But last night was another tightrope for both guys, at the end of the game. And again, I just think it's how talented that other club is. They don't stop. You look at that lineup, and they're one of those teams like the Dodgers, like the Padres. You just 1 through 9, you got guys that can do damage, and you have to be very delicate how you handle them and get out of innings. So to leave there last night with a W was really nice.
Derek Hall, our guest here on Bickley and Murata Mornings, as he is every week, joining us from New York, the owners' meetings. Since I mentioned the weekend last week and Sunday, obviously you get the win, but you lose Corbin Burns, and he's been placed on the injured list. I believe today is the day, Derek, that he's in Los Angeles seeking more opinions on what to do. Just your reaction on how the starting rotation has rebounded since that time, and are you bracing for bad news? You keeping it optimistic? I mean, how do you handle a situation like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just fingers crossed. We're hoping for good news, and we certainly got that before with AJ Puck, and we got it with Justin Martinez. So we're hoping same case may apply here. Anytime someone seeks a second opinion, it makes you think, ooh, the first one probably wasn't that great. But a lot of times guys will go for a second opinion to make sure that first one was accurate and that you can rehab it and not have to worry about any sort of surgical procedure. So, I think we're hopeful that that's the case, and we'll find out more here soon, we hope. But he was pitching so well, and he was coming around to the Cy Young candidate he is each and every year, and it felt like every fifth day when Corbin Burns would take the mound, you had a really good chance to win. But I do agree with you. I think sometimes that forces the other parts of the rotation to step up, and they certainly look like it. I mean, Merrill was fantastic last night. Gallen pitched great the day before. So it is signs of life like that can somehow be the result of something unfortunate happening.
Yeah, and as the case I made in the Corbin Burns thing, if he misses a chunk of time, it would be a shame because, like you said, he's really, really kind of elevated and been the pitcher we knew he was previously. But you've got the starting pitchers to stay in this thing until he gets back, and it looks like they are starting to kind of ascend together. Is that the hope? Do you share that belief?
100%, yeah. And I've always thought our strength was our rotation. Actually, we got so much better when we signed Corbin, and we already had a very strong case for one of the best rotations in baseball. But I do think so. I think the other guys can definitely hold up. We've had the depth, to be able to have Ryan Nelson pitch in long relief or spot start. When Erod went down. That, again, is depth that we created, and you're not going to go through an entire season healthy, especially starting pitching. Yeah. So we wanted to have that depth, and now it's paying off to have it.
All right, so what's on the agenda at the meetings in New York? What are you guys trying to get accomplished?
A big topic is how we get Dan Bickley to Washington, D.C. so we can take photos of the landmarks for his partner there.
I love that. Let's get him there.
Wow, I had no idea.
He's not going. Yeah, he's not going. No, it's pretty standard fare where we're hearing from all the different committee leaders and going over everything from economics to rules changes, and it's just good to get together with the counterparts and talk about the game over dinner and get in our committee meetings and try and improve this game that we all love so much.
Yep. There you go. Derek, we appreciate you sneaking out of those meetings to make time for us.
You got it, guys. Always look forward to talking to you.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. Derek Hall, President and CEO of the Arizona Diamondbacks, future commissioner, according to one Dan Bickley.
He liked that.
It's not like he hasn't heard you give that jab before.
Well, it's a compliment.
It is.
It's a compliment.
Absolutely.
He'd be a great commissioner.
He's also such a dedicated listener. He references things in passing that even I forgot about that we talked about, like the trip to D.C. we were talking about earlier.
Well, he pays attention to the show.
Right, exactly.
Thanks again to Derek Hall for joining us. Big's got the blast on this Thursday. Next, it's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Dbacks decision makers from the team's front office join Wolf and Luke Wednesday mornings at 11:45 for Dbacks Front Office Focus. Brought to you by Canvas Annuity. The home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
If you have got missing or loose teeth, if you're wearing dentures that don't really fit, if you're struggling to eat because of these inconveniences, or if you're ashamed to smile because you hate your smile, you should learn about New Life Dental Implant Center. They are changing the game in their industry. They can restore your ability to chew, speak, and smile again. They're changing the game because they're offering amazing quality, great convenience, and the best prices you are going to find in the market. And you don't have to settle for the standard all-on-4 dental implants. At New Life Dental Implant Center, they use more than 4 implants per jaw for rock-solid support and longevity. Each new smile digitally designed so you heal faster with minimal bone removal. Plus, they craft your teeth from solid zirconia for lasting strength and comfort. Best of all, about 40% less on the price than competitors with easy financing options available. At New Life Dental Implant Center, that new smile, that new you, one phone call away. 602-855-0000, online at newsmilearizona.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This Father's Day at Lowe's, score free gifts for the greatest dad. Right now, get a free select DeWalt, Craftsman, or Cobalt tool with purchase of a select battery kit. Plus, get a free Werner 2-foot aluminum ladder when you buy an 8-foot fiberglass ladder. Shop these deals and more this Father's Day at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 6/15 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Something new is happening at Cox. Now the price of your Cox internet and mobile plan won't go up for 3 years, and Wi-Fi equipment is included. So no frustrating price changes, just a lot more of what you want, like a pizza with extra pineapple. Yikes. Okay, let's stick with something everyone wants. No price changes on your plan, guaranteed. Learn more at cox.com/value. Must have at least 500 megabits per second speeds and Cox Unlimited mobile. Taxes and fees excluded from price guarantee. Mobile data speeds reduced after 20 gigs usage per month.
Hey, it's Jody Jackson. Ready for a career change? You've heard me talking a lot about Y-Refi. Well, they're hiring. As a student loan advocate, you will guide their borrowers and co-borrowers through the application process, ensuring that you're helping each one of them in their unique situation. Many student loan advocates make 6 figures and there is no cold calling. Y-Refi also offers great benefits, including 100% company-paid whole family health insurance and matching 401k. If you're interested, go to yrefi.com/careers or email careers@yrefi.com.
Avoid an AC system breakdown this summer by calling Collins Comfort Masters to schedule a $49 AC tune-up. Collins is trusted by the community with over 9,500 5-star Google reviews and expert techs ensuring the job gets done right the first time. Make sure you take advantage of this offer so your home will stay cool and comfortable all season long. Call 480-NO-WORRY or visit collinscomfort.com. Collins Comfort Masters, your no-worry solution for all your AC, heating, plumbing, and water filtration needs.
Imagine coming home to find a raging house party you didn't throw. Uninvited guests climbing the walls, tearing up the place, and refusing to leave. Sounds like termites.
Yo, best party ever. Pass me a piece of that baseboard.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Once termites show up, they'll keep the party going until you take action. Call 602-BLUE-SKY today to schedule your free termite inspection. We'll make sure the party's over. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Hey, it's Wolf for Tim Hovig's Santan Ford in Gilbert. I have 2 things for you, Baysonians. 1, employee pricing has been extended at Santan Ford. And 2, the selection is huge. That's right. Santan Ford has 1,400 new vehicles on the ground. All the models, all the trim levels, different options in every color under the sun. It's simple. Get employee pricing on your new Ford and drive away in the Ford you really want. You gotta love it, right? Head on over to the Santan 202 Freeway at Val Vista Drive in Gilbert. I am Santan Ford.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with Trending Now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. The D-backs have made it 3 in a row. They beat the Braves yesterday 2-1. Merrill Kelly was phenomenal, going 7 innings, striking out 8, and only giving up 1 hit in the win. And Justin Martinez came in with 1 out in a jam in the 8th and got out of it on his way to a 5-out save. And here was Martinez on Merrill Kelly and the win.
Unbelievable. Shout out to Merrill. So he was painting today all the corners, and shout out to Merrill. He really needs this game win, and now let's go. Now enjoy.
Get ready for some morning baseball today. First pitch in Atlanta will be at 9:15 a.m., and you can hear it on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. The Phoenix Suns have a new head basketball coach. Jordan Ott, former Cleveland Cavaliers assistant, will take the reins of this Suns basketball team. For much more on that story, head to arizonasports.com. And the NBA Finals tip-off tonight. The Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder in OKC tonight. This report is brought to you by YRefi. Don't let private student loan debt ruin your life. Go to YRefi.com. That's the letter YREFY.com.
Bickley and Marotta mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Matt Ishbia is competitive and successful and wealthy beyond imagination, but for the first time since he walked on at Michigan State, he is now the subject of doubt and skepticism. It isn't the head coach he just hired, because Jordan Ott has legitimate credentials. It's the perception that comes with another Spartan on the payroll, and it's the internal memo he sent to his staff yesterday that is troubling on a lot of levels. He said in that memo that he's tried to be the traditional NBA owner and failed. He framed his first 2 years as a guy who hired experts, wrote big checks, and got out of the way. He distanced himself from the failure of the past 2 years by inserting himself even deeper in the story. Now, his vow to get even more involved in basketball operations is clearly not what fans want to hear, because we've already had that guy and we went 10 years without sniffing the playoffs. And I've heard from a number of fans who resent the idea of importing heavy Michigan culture to Phoenix, where we have our own history and our own culture built for nearly 60 years. Bottom line, instead of humility, Ishbia is doubling down on his defiance, a temperament that has served him very well in the business world. But billionaires often meet their match in pro sports, where heavy lessons are often learned the hard way, namely, just because you're rich doesn't mean you're right. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
I get what you're saying, Perk, because it's so easy in this league to come in and just to fall into that trap of playing 82 games and not winning the championship and going into your summer. Before you know it, 5 seasons have gone by and you've done nothing. But Devin Booker has taken the first step, getting involved in the coaching search. Secondly, it doesn't matter who coached that team until you figure out what you're going to do with your players. Chemistry. Yeah. You look at all those coaches that came before those guys. Those coaches are guys that have won in other situations. Why aren't they winning in Phoenix? Are we going to keep saying this to coaches, or are we going to keep saying that you're not putting the right guys in the locker room? And that's where I go to. Are you going to put the right guys in the locker room? Because one thing about the NBA now today, it's so easy to go out and say, the coach ain't doing this, the coach ain't doing that. Are you putting the right pieces around to really compete for a championship? First and foremost, I don't think Phoenix had the right pieces to really say they were going to compete for a championship this year.
Udonis Haslem, former Miami Heat forward on NBA Today on ESPN yesterday, talking about the Suns needing to figure out chemistry, coach, all of those things. And those are things that Matt Ishbia has said. And said in kind of nondescript terms back in April when he talked about, looking for a coach that fits the vision of what Phoenix Suns basketball is, and apparently that guy is Jordan Ott. And I've mixed feelings on the Jordan Ott hire, mostly because as I kind of put myself into his shoes, what an opportunity for a 40-year-old who started out in the video room of the Atlanta Hawks in 2013. He's now a head coach in the NBA. 12 years later. So it is an unbelievable opportunity. Not many people can say they made that ascension to grab one of those jobs, but the stigma of where he got his master's degree is all a lot of people are talking about right now.
I know.
And it's I'm not going to say it's unfair to him because he's been given the opportunity to be a head coach, but man, talk about a gigantically high hurdle to cross over in your first days as an NBA head coach.
Again, it's the perception is reality kind of thing, and it's something that this is what you can't argue. Matt Ishbia might be proven right, but he has fallen precipitously in terms of public confidence and local popularity. There was a time when we were doing handstands and cartwheels and we were over the moon because we were coming off an owner that wouldn't spend what it costs to win a championship. Matt Ishbia made it very, very clear he was not that guy. And I know that I went way, way out there and said this might be the greatest reprieve a sports town in America has ever received. And now here we are a couple of years into this, and it's been a massive failure on a lot of different levels. I agree with Udonis Haslem. For all the thoughts about the head coaching search and Jordan Ott and Michigan State, what matters now is building a basketball team with the right players and getting the chemistry right. This is not a function. What has happened the last 2 years is not solely a function of picking the wrong head coach. I really hope, and again, that's where I think part of the danger is, because Matt Ishbia was obviously so let down by Mike Budenholzer after the Frank Vogel experience the year before that I think that the danger is thinking that the coach is really the key master to all of it. And it's not. It's about getting the right roster and the right chemistry. And it's very, very difficult to do.
Yes, and now you're empowering Brian Gregory, somebody who's never been in that role before, to identify how to piece this together. And it's not just like you're going in with a blank check to a grocery store and picking up whatever you want. There's a lot of limitations on what they can do. It's going to be a very, very interesting offseason. But for anybody that's criticizing or intimating that Jordan Ott is not qualified to be an NBA head coach, I don't buy that at all.
Do I.
In fact, of the hires that have been made at key positions under Matt Ishbia's ownership, Jordan Ott is more qualified than a lot of the guys that are in the jobs.
He's more qualified than Brian Gregory to do his job.
Certainly.
Yeah, and
again, you've made this clear, that's not to say that Brian Gregory won't work out. But that's the perception right now.
I want Brian Gregory to work out. I told you, we're homies, man. We're from the same hood. I want this to work out. He's a great dude. But again, you've got to be real honest about this. And there's just not a recognition of, man, I messed this up. You know what I mean? I've had people tell me, I've had one business leader tell me that in situations like this, maybe it would be better for Matt Ishbia to come out and say, you know what? Look, I made some mistakes. I took some big swings. It didn't work out. Maybe I've learned some hard lessons in basketball, but what I do know is relationships. What I do know is how to build winning, whatever. That would go over better than this constant defiance. But this defiance is who Matt Ishbia is. So I'm hoping that Brian Gregory is going to be really good at his job, because if Brian Gregory is really good at his job, there will be a way out of this. But there's also a lot of Suns fans who feel now we have just been sentenced to another 10 years of not a lot of good stuff.
Yep, and I know we got the news breaking of Jordan not getting the job yesterday right at the end of our show, so we had very little time to react to it yesterday. Wolf and Luke had kind of a whole show to reflect on it yesterday starting at 10, and Luke was one of those people, and I'm not saying he's right, and I'm not saying he's wrong, but he was fixated on the Michigan State tie-in. Like that should be a non-starter there, basically. Kellen Olson, our very own Kellen Olson, went on with Wolf and Luke yesterday, and he discussed Ott and the Michigan State ties.
I think the overlaying thought and the overlaying anxiety from everyone is the Michigan State tie and just how much of this was a factor. And it's not so much, I honestly don't think it's much about Michigan State anymore. And what I mean by that is the concern shouldn't be that it's Michigan State specifically. The concern should be that this a concerning trend of like-minded individuals who are going to be agreeable, and there isn't going to be much diversification in terms of the thought process over there. And if there isn't, this is a recipe for disaster, because you need to disagree. You need to have different opinions. And again, these are things that we don't know for sure. are things that are happening. For all we know, like Gregory and Ott could be completely different in terms of their opinions on basketball between the two of them, but it's something that has to come up with this trend now, and it's like it's following the meme at this point. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly.
And Kellen has been all over that. The difference of opinion is what made the Suns very successful with James Jones and Monty Williams as head coach and general manager, because they did butt heads on a lot of things a lot of times. Does it lead to success? I think he's asking a very important question there. How much like-mindedness is there throughout the basketball operation right now, and how will that benefit or hurt the Suns?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. The like-mindedness is something that Matt Ishbia wants. The word is alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's groupthink is not a good thing. You need outliers. You need people to challenge each other. It's the whole. You remember the whole Todd Haley deal?
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And how well he played off of Ken Wisenhunt. Yeah, the creative friction element of it all, I think, is important, and there's going to be a lot of challenges to get up and over going forward.
When the temperature exceeds 100 degrees in the valley, just 15 minutes of exposure can cause permanent damage. Text the word water to 620-620 to help us save lives this summer by dropping off water at select UPS store locations or donating today. It's the Arizona Sports Water Drive benefiting Phoenix Rescue Mission. Coming up next, we get you ready for Dbacks Braves. Arizona going for the sweep. Dbacks on deck is next. Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Dbacks at the Braves.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Twice in one game, Martinez strikes out Michael Harris the second, and the Diamondbacks hang on as they win it by a final score of 2-1.
Dbacks Braves series finale this morning at 8:30 right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
All right, so I've got 3 great reasons why you call Parker & Sons for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. Number 1, they're reputable and highly decorated, talking about an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they are the most awarded firm in Arizona. Number 2, they're fast and reliable. When you need them, they'll be there in minutes, not days, and there is no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. I'll tell you again about my plumbing emergency. I called Parker & Sons at 4:30 a.m., got a live person on the phone, couldn't believe that. By 8 a.m., they were at my house fixing my issue. Number 3, trustworthy and credible. All their technicians are licensed, bonded, insured. All are trust certified, which means they've had background checks and they are drug tested. And this is important because you don't let anybody into your home. That is your sacred space. You've got to be comfortable with the technicians you let into your home and the technicians you let fix your home. At Parker & Sons, that is never a concern. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's, and My Lowe's Pro Rewards members can save even more with limited-time deals. Right now, buy one, get one half off select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams primer and ceiling paint. Plus, get free same-day delivery to your job site when you order by 2 p.m. Offer valid through 6/13, delivery by 8 p.m., subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
The Arizona heat can be dangerous, and you can help save lives. Text WATER to 620-620 for the UPS Store water drop-off locations, or donate today. It's the Arizona Sports Water Drive, presented by the UPS Store. Message and data rates may apply.
The traditional way is not the way to sell your home anymore.
I want stuff the way it's being done now to get the bang for the buck, if you will.
It took us 3 days to sell our home.
With the 72 Sold program, you will know what the top of the market is for your home in 11 days or less. We wouldn't be the fastest growing firm of all businesses in Arizona if 72 Sold didn't work. So if you're thinking about selling your home, you need to go to 72sold.com.
Sonic Radio. CIO coming to you live from the red carpet, and here comes the star of the summer, Sweet Top Lemonade from Sonic. Wow, looking delicious as always. Tell us, what are you wearing?
Oh, this? Just a little blueberry lavender number. I was going for something tart and sweet.
Incredible. And is that cold foam on top? So chic. I wouldn't mind taking a sip of that.
Dude.
Wait, that came out wrong.
Try Sweet Top Lemonades from Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Dave Burns here with Liberty GMC General Manager Chris Scott. Chris, your service department moves fast.
What's up, Dave? We get it. Life moves fast. That's why our service department stays open late. Drop off by 8 p.m. and we'll have it for you ready for the next day. Plus, only at Liberty GMC all year round, buy 2 tires and get 2 free.
What?
Now that's service you can count on. And if you're looking for a truck, you can enjoy $12,250 off a brand new 2025 Sierra 1500.
Shop and buy online all the time. LibertyGMCAZ.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Protein, protein, protein. Everyone is trying to get protein in their diet, but we need fats too. Healthy fat, that is, like the rich, natural peanut and almond butters found in G2G protein bars. Most bars don't have it because, well, most bars aren't real food or refrigerated. Fortunately for you, we aren't most bars. At G2G, you'll find a balanced helping of protein and healthy fat. The fact that they're delicious is just a bonus. They're fast, easy, and perfect for on-the-go families. G2G protein bars. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco or your local Bashes.
Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. We're checking in on the Diamondbacks as they warm up for the game's first pitch. Dbacks on deck, brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. And by 72 Sold. 72 Sold. Get a higher price for your home.
Probably running a little hot, but as everybody's was in the entire valley and everybody in the dugout and every player on the field, that's how it should be because we're invested and we care. And we want to win baseball games. We felt like we played a really good game. Merrill executed at a very high level. And, you know, we were pitch to pitch there and J. Mart came through and he showed why he is who he is. He made pitches when he had to.
Torey Lovello, manager of the Diamondbacks, following last night's win, 2-1, the series clincher. They go for the sweep today, the Diamondbacks do. The June Diamondbacks, unbeaten.
Unbeaten, baby.
And going for a sweep today against the Atlanta Braves, 9:15 first pitch at Truist Park. Let's jump right in, Bick, and take a look at today's pitching matchup. It's brought to you by the Window Depot. More than a window store. Visit one of their 4 Valley locations where you can find everything you need for your home remodel. On the mound for the Diamondbacks, Brandon Pfaadt. 7-4, 5.05 ERA. You can't put an asterisk by the ERA because it is what it is. But it rose 1.05 earned runs in his last start, 31 pitches. Suffice it to say, Brandon Pfaadt has never had a start like that in his life.
No.
Where he didn't get anybody out, gave up 8 earned runs on 6 hits, hit 2 batters in the first inning of that disastrous performance against Washington. So he's trying to bounce back from that.
Yeah, and people have pointed out that he looked shell-shocked in the dugout after that happened, and that is accurate because he was shelled.
Yeah, he was.
So, yeah, I think Brandon Pfaadt's going to have a good bounce-back outing today
because of that. I mean, we've been spending a lot of time talking about Diamondbacks pitchers bouncing back from bad performances. This is obviously the challenge for Brandon Pfaadt today, but we also haven't talked about like a string of 3 really good starts in a row by any combination of pitchers this year for the Diamondbacks, and the first 2 are already in place. Right. So if there's momentum, maybe. Pfaadt is 2-0, 3.57 career ERA, and 3 starts against the Braves. So he's got that going for him, which is nice. Grant Holmes, 29-year-old right-hander. He will be the opposing pitcher today. 3-4, 3.78 ERA. Pretty good whip, 1.16 whip so far. He went 5 2/3 innings in his last start last Friday, gave up 3 earned runs on 6 hits, 9 strikeouts, but the Braves lost that game to the Red Sox 5-1. He throws 5 pitches, but relies mostly on a 94-mile-per-hour four-seamer and a slider that he throws about 32% of the time. And you may remember, Grant Holmes was the pitcher on the mound in Eugenio Suarez's 4-home-run game at Chase Field. He gave up the first 3 to Gino, and somehow the Braves still won that game.
Wow. That's a good. I had forgotten that.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
So Gino got him 3 times.
Wow.
Gino is hitting 5th in the lineup today. Quick look at today's injury report brought to you by Barrow Neurological Institute. Learn more at barrowneuro.org. Diamondbacks have 5 players currently on the injured list, and they are all pitchers. We know about A.J. Puck, no timetable there. Eduardo Rodriguez getting real close. In fact, I think we'll see him make a start in Cincinnati this weekend, Bick.
Looking forward to that.
Corbin Burns, maybe we'll get an update today. Supposed to meet with Dr. Elatrash in Los Angeles. Hope for the best there. And then Blake Walston and Jordan Montgomery for the year for the Diamondbacks. On the Braves side, Stuart Fairchild, the former Diamondback, he hurt his pinky last week. He is on the 10-day injured list. Joe Jimenez, he's on the injured list. Pitcher A.J. Smith-Shawver out for the year. And Reynaldo Lopez is out on the 60-day injured list with after having arthroscopic shoulder surgery. So there is the injury report. The look at the standings. Jarrett mentioned this early, and the MLB standings are brought to you by Liberty GMC. Nowhere can you buy a GMC for less. A win today would put the Diamondbacks right back at 500.
What a great symbolic thing that could be for them. If they could just get greedy, and they're going for it today. They're rolling out the A lineup. Corbin Carroll's playing. Ketel Marte is playing. Geraldo Perdomo's batting third.
With the exception of Moreno, Herrera's behind the plate hitting. Right. But especially a day game after a delayed night game, we fully expected that. But the standings in the National League West right now, Dodgers in first place, 37-25, only 5-5 in their last 10 games. The Padres, 35-25, they're a game back. San Francisco, 3 games back. Diamondbacks have crept to within 6.5 of first place with this little run that they're on, winning 3 in a row. And the Colorado Rockies
are the hottest team in the division, Vinny.
Red hot Colorado Rockies.
That's funny.
Have won 3 in a row. They are 12-50, 25 games back, with a run differential of -181.
Oof. They were 9-50 at one point in time. They got a 3-game winning streak. That's fantastic. That is really fantastic.
I hope they're not just a regular old bad team from now forward, because that was pretty exciting when they were historically bad.
You want them to get back to their...
Yeah, don't win now for another 3 weeks.
I think this is the anomaly. I think they'll get back to that.
I mean, they were playing the Marlins, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
The Diamondbacks also swept the Marlins in Miami earlier this year.
Yeah.
Time to take a look at today's keys to the game.
Listen, man, I need you to be the key master. I am the key master.
Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. Dbacks Keys to the Game. Brought to you by G2G Protein Bars. Gluten-free, protein-packed, and ridiculously good. G2G Protein Bars are grab-and-go goodness.
All right, what do you got for a key to the game today, Beck?
Playing from ahead, Vinny. I want this baseball team to come out fast and get an early lead and play from ahead. I want them to get greedy. I think getting back to 500 perceptually is a big deal for a team that's been struggling. If you lose today, now you're back 2 games under again, and you got to climb back up that hill. I think this is a very interesting, important pivot kind of day for this baseball team.
Yeah, it very well could be as they go on to Cincinnati for the weekend series. I was going to be kind of a smart aleck and say the key to the game is say, Brandon Pfaadt, just get somebody out. But getting that first out, the first batter that he faces today, which will be for the Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr. hitting in the leadoff spot, just to settle his nerves again. And shell-shocked is a good way to put it. He did look shell-shocked. But I'm going in a different direction, and this is a challenge to Brandon Pfaadt and a challenge to anybody who faces this hitter. The Diamondbacks have done a great job so far in this series of containing Austin Riley, who has been a Diamondbacks killer. I mean, his career OPS against the Dbacks is remarkable. So far in the first 2 games of this series, 1 for 4, no runs scored. He struck out once. They've kept him off base, and he kind of makes this team go, especially against Arizona. So I think getting him out, keeping him off the base paths is key.
That's a formidable lineup.
Yeah, it definitely is. They go for the sweep today. Diamondbacks and Braves. Brandon Pfaadt against Grant Holmes. 9:15 is the first pitch. That's going to do it for today's show. We are back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to break it all down here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You've been listening to D-Backs on Deck. Brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. And by 72 Sold. 72 Sold. Get a higher price for your home.
Sonic Radio. CIO here. You're listening to the Not So Late Show. To celebrate half-price shakes after 5 p.m. at Sonic, we're coming to you live from Sonic Drive-In after dark-ish. Oh yeah, half-price shakes after 5 p.m. The Not So Late Show. No rules, just cool, deep voices and shakes. Strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, and more. You get it.
Sonic hand mixed shakes are half price after 5 p.m. Live free, eat Sonic. Exclusions apply. Limited time only.